Welcome into the Cam Strick podcast, episode number 239, presented by Hair Club Cam. In case you didn't know, that's for men, women, and everybody around the world, man. Hope everybody had a great weekend, and great to see you.
What up?
Once again, your 4th anniversary. I saw some pictures your wife was putting up.
Yeah. You see those pictures, the first picture, where she had a goofy face?
No. Oh, yeah, maybe I did.
That was at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Was it?
Yeah. You see her eyes kind of big?
No.
See my eyes were kind of big?
So what does that mean?
I don't know.
Probably got in that nasty-ass water? That's what happens to you?
No. We're getting down with it.
Oh, were you?
Oh, God, yeah. I haven't been down to Lake of the Ozarks in a long time,
But
man.
that was like a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You still want to go back down there and stuff?
It's just too crowded. With the right setup, it'd be kind of cool because I grew up down there and stuff like that. But
yeah, a lot of people did, man. That's what they say. They go to the lake.
The lake, baby, lake life, dude. If you got a lake, that's why all these cats that we talk to, man. Like, where you at? I'm by the beach. I got a lake house in Muskoka. I got that center console going, man. Like boats, dude. If you got the coin and you got the weekends, like that's the ultimate fun toy. It totally is.
It's a waste of money.
I mean, you just. Not really. I mean, I spent $50,000 and I got 10 years out of that boat of mine, going 70 miles an hour and an inch with 2 inches of water.
Hey, is that a man-made lake?
Yes.
The
Lake
Ozarks.
Ozarks. Yeah, they dammed it up. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. It's 2 rivers and they just flooded it up. It's awesome. It's awesome. Fucking $1 million boats down there, dude. You got dipshits driving. The scary, I said this to you guys before, and if you guys are on a crowded lake, and don't get me wrong, we got a ton of hockey to get in, fucking doobie and all that shit, but if you guys are on a crowded lake, what did I say was the most dangerous thing on a lake? What did I say?
STDs.
No, Andy, no.
I'm pretty sure you said that.
It's not that. What do you think the scariest thing is on a crowded lake?
Drowning. Oh, no, that is the answer, dude. It's drowning.
13-year-old girls.
What?
13-year-old girls on fucking Sea-Doos.
Okay.
13-year-old girls.
Was that an option? You should have given me like an
I
A,
told
B,
you
and
C.
about that.
These parents let these kids take their Sea-Doos out on the main. I'm talking crowded lake in the main channel, and they're fucking. They don't look. They cut right in front of boats. It's scary, dude.
Can they mess you up if they run you over?
What?
That could do like serious damage to you.
To me, they're not going to run us over. We're on a boat. They're on little Sea-Doos.
If you're in the water, like swimming or whatever.
Oh, fuck yeah. That'll kill you. Yeah. Absolutely would kill you. But these parents and my mom and dad let us do that too, and we were crazy. But I shouldn't say girl, because it could be a 14-year-old boy, a 13-year-old. But these psycho parents will go on the main channel. It's like the Atlantic Ocean with just so much going on, and the waves are all big. It's so choppy. And these idiots go down there, and they literally will go in the main channel and have their kids on a tube in the main channel where it's just chaos everywhere. And it's like, you guys are nuts, man.
Well, watch out for Boat Patrol, too, this week.
Water Charlie, dude. Hell yeah.
It's a big holiday weekend.
Hey, all y'all, you're dang right. Memorial Day weekend coming up. And you guys know, man, like they're going to be out and about. The Water Charlie will be out and about at some of these places. And they will funnel you in to a DWI check. So you want to cruise around and you're fucked up. And all of a sudden, you make a turn in a cove, and all of a sudden, you see all these boats, and they're funneled. You're like, fuck that, I'm going to make a U-turn. No, you're not, because they got scouts everywhere. And they'll see the boats that turn around.
Scouts?
Yes. The police have scouts everywhere, yes.
So they're looking to
they'll funnel
nail you.
Yes. You might be caught in a jam where they'll funnel you.
What's worse, getting a DWI on a boat or a golf cart?
A boat. Damn right. It's way more dangerous.
Way more dangerous.
Yeah, you could do a lot more damage. If you're in a golf cart, like, I'm so goofy with the Andrew Burnett.
Should you really be allowed to get a DUI when you're on a golf cart?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Unless you're like driving it on a highway or something.
Yeah, even then it's like give him a ticket or give him a fine or something. But
if he's shit-faced and he's on a golf cart on the highway, dude, lock his ass.
Well, no one's on a highway with a golf cart.
I'm just saying, that's when you do
that's unrealistic. That doesn't happen. It's more like just down little side streets in a neighborhood. Like, do you get a D-dub for that? I don't think you should. And be embarrassed like Andrew did. You look fucking embarrassed.
You look very pale in your pictures, by the way.
Because not anymore. My face is red now.
Well, now you are a little pale too.
Well, fuck, I'm a pale motherfucker. I'm Caucasian, dude. I'm white as shit.
Loosen up on the sunscreen.
I'm Scandinavian.
When you're out there golfing.
I don't put sunscreen on, dude. You kidding?
You don't wear any?
I mean, like, I don't want to. If I go down to Florida,
like Mexico or something.
Like, if I go to Florida, I need to get my gosh dang base, baby. I want to get my base down. I don't want to go to Florida and come back and
We're
not
talking
be tan.
about doing that real quick though. Anybody who goes down to the lake, dude, send us some pictures, man. I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see your lake set up. I want to see Memorial Day pictures
down there.
Yeah, I want to see it all. I want to see your chill zone again. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Remember we had that going?
Oh, the chill zone was great.
Where's your chill zone at, guys? Doesn't have to be crazy. Mm-hmm. Just your little spot. Send me some pics, man. I love that shit.
I'll send you one too, Cam. Where my chill zone?
I know where yours is.
Where's it gonna be?
Yours is in your car, driving to get running errands.
On the phone.
Andy's on the phone, like picking things up, picking up dry cleaning, dropping Ty off. That's his chill spot. You don't have no other spot. That's all you do. Run around.
The chill zone. It's about to slow down, dude. Little Ty had a birthday, dude, over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
We had a little. It was fun, man.
Andy called me and goes, "Hey, how old's Ty again? By the way, what was his birthday?
7.
He's 7." And he's like, "Hey man, he's having a party. Can I buy the kids Nerf guns? You think that's okay?" I go, "What?" I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, what if he gets comfortable doing it and he wants to shoot other guns?" I go, "You don't have any other guns anyway. Like that's what kids do. They have super soakers. They have fucking Nerf guns. Like you can't always think that way." Now, you're a nerdy ass neighborhood, man. Some of your neighbors might call the cops on you because they think that might be a real gun because they have no clue. But no, dude, like let the kid play. Let the kid fucking shoot a Nerf gun and run around and have fun. Good God!
Listen, he's got a bunch
you're
of those.
Turning in the Creve Coeur Racket Club.
That is not how the story went.
Andy goes to the Creve Coeur Racket Club, and that's what their conversations are. Like, I'm thinking about getting Nerf gun. Well, I don't know about that. Good God,
dude! You know how many he's got of those
sheltered
things? He's got a bunch of those.
Well, asked me.
Well, it's the other kids, dude. Do the other moms, dude? Everyone has their own rules, dude. You never know what the rules are with other kids.
Tell them not to come then.
Hey, just so you
they
know,
got their own rules.
Just to let you know,
at your party.
Just to let you know, we're gonna have Nerf guns.
Jesus Christ!
I was standing next to a couple dads yesterday at the soccer game. And he was talking about hunting with a 12 gauge, dude. I'm trying to think, like, what's he hunting, dude? He was like, he was shooting. I assume when they say shooting that they're going to
stay out
hunting,
of those conversations.
But the guy said, what kind of gun? He said, 12 gauge. What are you doing with a 12 gauge, dude?
You're killing intruders is what you do with a 12 gauge shotgun. That's for home protection, homie. You know, you're not going to kill.
Are you going to a shooting range?
Well, no, you could go bird hunting with shotguns.
Okay.
Yeah, goddamn right. Dunk hunting.
Gauge, yeah.
Yes. My dad used to go up to way up in South Dakota, Redding, South Dakota. And he took my brother up there for the first time. And he took my brother's buddy, who's kind of a dipshit. And they went up there with my dad's buddies hunting when they got a little bit older. And they're all walking in a line, waiting for the pheasant. They ruffle the feathers, the pheasant all pop up, and you shoot. My brother's dipshit buddy was walking with the gun.
Oh, my God.
And he dropped it.
And it went off? Who did it hit?
Nobody. It shot backwards.
Well, you shouldn't have taken him.
No shit. We took that kid everywhere. His daddy died at a young age. My dad kind of helped out.
Gotcha.
But you take him hunting, Dad. You crazy? So anyway, well, everybody's alive. Huh?
Chansons were privileged.
Jesus.
Privileged, dude.
I mean, that doesn't cost any money to do that.
This guy's going on ski trips, hunting trips to South Dakota.
I went on one ski trip. My dad took a loan out.
Very privileged.
My dad took a loan out. My dad was a waterproofer. Like, what are you talking about? My mom worked at Clayton Prison. Get out of here.
Man.
I'm blue collar as a sound bitch.
So, dude.
Not anymore.
Shanahan holds the press conference, dude. Did you, when you're watching that, first of all, he's very poetic. He's very...
poetic.
What is he? What's the word I'm looking for?
He sounds stoic. Like
stoic.
He's not.
But he has that look of he's like an English professor or something, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Actually, he's an English professor in the same department that Kyle Dubas is an English professor. They both look like English professors.
Yeah, well, one's
very nice,
tough guy.
Very nice glasses. Both of them
looks good.
wear their glasses.
Hair looks good still.
Man, this whole I don't even know where to start in terms of breaking this one down. There's so many different directions to go in. And I always wonder, man, are people falling on like Team Dubas or Team Shanahan? I feel like initially, because Dubas came out and, played the family card and did all that and got a lot of sympathy because of that. Oh. Even though a lot of people were critical of what he said. Like, you know what you're signing up for.
No shit. We've all taken a beating with that.
And, so maybe he and his camp felt like they had some leverage after doing that we can go back and now ask for additional years, additional money. But I think the focus is too much about the money. And I think this is mostly, it's about the money, but I think it's about the power inside the hockey department. Who has the final say? Who has the most power? And whenever you have this type of disagreement, man, and you have a guy who's a president with a GM working under him, if you look around the league, Cam, I mean, typically this is not always a guaranteed recipe for success when you have this type of, hockey operation hierarchy, when you have a president with a GM working underneath them. It doesn't always work. It's not for everybody. But in this case, you've got Kyle Dubas probably and his department probably saying, hey, we want to be able to make some of these decisions. Like, listen, even if you're a president and you're going to hire a GM, in my opinion, Cam, you got to let your GM run the show. You got to let him run the show.
Either be successful or fail.
You can't have one guy wanting to do something, and that's his job, to make the team better, and somebody else stepping in and not allowing that to happen. And the Maple Leafs are corporate, man. This is not like a private-owned, NHL organization like you see with a lot of other teams. I mean, they're like a corporation.
Yeah.
So, how they have their whole, hierarchy, is it's different than most makeups around the league. But when you look at Kyle Dubas, you look at Shanahan. Shanahan's got a couple years left in the contract. He's asking for a long-term deal and for the power. And if you're MLSC and you're thinking about that, you're probably like, okay, why do we need Brendan Shanahan if we have this other guy making all this money and he's making all the decisions? So I think in a way, Brendan Shanahan was probably protecting himself too.
Maybe.
Hey, I'm not going to give you full power and a long-term deal.
Then what's
and what are you doing anyway? We already pretty much had an agreement. Now you're coming back at me. You just went on television saying you weren't sure if you wanted to be the GM.
Yes.
Dude,
turn off.
It was just, listen, at the end of the day, Cam, I think this points towards the speculation that's been out there about the dysfunction and the relationship these two had together.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I mean? You can just tell they weren't on the same page. They're not close. Shanahan brought Kyle Dubas on board. I gave him an opportunity, believed in him, and listen, he was so young. People were critical of that at the time because he was like in his late 20s. Brought him on board, took him under his wing, gave him an opportunity of a lifetime. And now, things have just kind of fallen apart. So I think, in reality, the relationship had gotten to a point, even though Shanahan went to bat and offered him a contract extension, I think it had gotten to a point where it was probably a little more fractured than people realize.
Yeah, you're probably right, man. And he's probably going to get another job. I mean, there's other teams kind of floating around, rumors and whatnot. But no, you're right, man. If I'm a GM, I don't want to have to ask every time I make a decision, or I got to be like, is this cool if we do this? Just like when Lou Lamoriello used to kind of coach too, like decide who's going to be in the lineup that day. You can't, that's hard to manage.
Well, general managers, listen, they got to let their coaches coach too, right?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I've heard some get pissed.
Oh, yeah. That. And listen, let's be honest. The players in Toronto, from what I understand, Cam, they absolutely love Kyle Dubas.
They love him?
Oh, they love him. Like
probably because they're not intimidated by him.
Correct. And he's one of the boys. He makes them their boy. Like he gives them probably whatever they want. To be honest with you, they're coming to him asking for, hey, we need a day off here and there. He's probably cool with a lot of that. He's very family oriented.
Yeah, but is he making that decision for a day off, the GM?
I'm just using that as an example. Don't
focus
of all the things that I said, don't focus on that. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying because maybe that's how close they are.
I'm just saying they're tight, dude.
Yeah, I get it.
The players, they like Kyle Dubas, so.
Yeah, but sometimes
that's not always a great thing.
No, if I'm a GM, I don't want my player. I want them to respect me. Yeah. I want to be intimidating. I want to walk in there and be like, no, I'm in control here. Like he did. I could see that. I could see some of the younger guys, older guys. Like he walks in the room, I'm not like, oh fuck, I need to be buttoned up.
No.
Army walks in, Lou walks in, I'm like, fuck. All right, what we got? Where's my stick? Is my stick tape right? I mean,
right.
You're just always on.
Are you focused?
On the ball? You're always on the ball. So
yeah, it's different,
knows,
man.
Look, whatever with them, whatever with Toronto. I'm just saying, they get so much attention, so much hype, and it is.
It's a little much, man. I mean, this is. Listen, I know it's the hockey mecca, but I mean, for a team that hasn't done anything, like the entire hockey world just stops and is like full on like locked into what's going on with the Maple Leafs. I'm guilty of it too, man. Like I'm paying attention to it. I mean, you typically don't get anything out of any of those guys in Toronto, and for him to give like this detailed, description of what went down between he and Kyle. But, he
got in detail, and he's like, okay, he's like throwing out like times and dates, and then an email, Friday, 5:39, August, this is what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Dude, but see, it's interesting because getting back to their relationship, like they're talking. He's like, at 9:30, I received an email from Kyle Dubas. Like, don't these guys like know it? Can't he pick up the phone? I remember when Mike Babcock was going through his situation in Detroit, and Kenny Holland was like driving to his house, and they were meeting together, and they were like shooting the shit, probably having a cigar and a glass of wine.
That's how you do it.
You know what I mean? These guys are like, I'm gonna email you.
I know.
Talk to my agent.
I'm gonna tweet at you. Check your DMs. I'm gonna
talk to my agent.
No, man, you gotta go talk eye to eye, man. And I know. Look, sometimes you gotta kick it to your agent. You're paying them money. If you don't want to deal with the contract negotiation and you need to work during the season, I get all that. But once push comes to shove, and it's already kind of fucking tearing apart a little bit. Go and sit down and talk to each other and have a beer. Yeah, that's how you do it.
But we do treat Kyle Dubas like he's like the most like this Hall of Fame general manager. Yeah. Like it's like way too much. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now he's sitting without a job, Cam, because he played his cards. His agent, whoever gave him that advice, was just. And again, you're dealing with a corporation here and whatever, but. He had a 5-year deal on the table. That's the word. Somewhere like 4 or 5 years on the table.
So is this team going to fall apart? Like, what's going to happen in your opinion?
Toronto?
Yeah. What are they going to do?
Well, they've got a lot of good players, but you know what? The morale is not good. I know they can all come out and say this or that. You know, the whole Austin Matthews things will be interesting because I believe Kyle Dubas, his agent, works under Austin Matthews' agent.
Oh, yeah? Oh, God.
So, you know, in terms of, you know, maybe that would have helped Matthews get what he wants out of Toronto. They got to make a decision there. This is terrible timing. Oh. You know, with everything they have to decide. I mean, you know, the draft just being a month away.
Yeah. You know.
And July 1st, obviously, when they can get a deal done with Austin Matthews. Because they got to know, man. They got to know what's going to happen. Would you pay him $15 million?
God, I don't know. You know. What's Matty Tkachuk make?
9.5.
9.5. So he's not over 10.
No.
The only guy on 10 with Florida is Bobrovsky. But Bob, he's right at 10.
Yep.
Nobody more than that.
Nope.
I don't know, man. 15 schmil a year. Fuck that.
You got to look up what Barkov is at. Look that up.
I don't know if he's over 10.
Yeah.
There's not too many.
No, there's not. Eichel, I think, is the other guy who's making 10 that's currently playing right now.
Yeah.
So who? Sasha Barkov. So he's at 10 too.
Okay. The cap's going up and all that stuff too, but 15 million, I guess so.
I wouldn't pay him 15.
I mean,
listen, when Nathan McKinnon redid his deal, it was important for him to be the highest paid player, and like, you know, he should have been. It was his turn to get his deal done.
Yeah. So
you just, whether it's $1 or $100,000, whatever. I mean, do you really need to go, you know, $2-3 million north of what the highest contract is right now? If you can get it, you can get it. But I would think that Austin Matthews, if he's going to sign there, he also wants to know who else is going to be there.
Of course.
And he wants some assurance probably that his boy Mitchie Marnie, that he's going to be there. You know, you would think that he'd want to know, like, he's not going to sign, you know, and what's he going to do, another 3-year deal, a 5-year deal? You know, is Toronto going to be comfortable just paying him another short-term deal?
Yeah, I don't know.
And having to do this all over again, or would they want to lock him up? And it's not going to be an easy contract, we all know, to get done. And we're assuming that he truly even wants to stay there. That you know,
he might have had enough.
And based on what he's going to hear from the organization, you know, who knows what decision he's going to make. And Kyle Dubas isn't there. Like, who's he negotiating with? You know, is it going to be Brandon Pridham, who's the guy who's there right now, who's taking on those responsibilities, or are they bringing somebody else in? This whole Doug Armstrong thing is really interesting, Cam.
I keep seeing that pop up everywhere.
It's popping up like everywhere, and from the very beginning. I mean, the first report that I saw of anybody discussing what Toronto's next steps are, they were like, one person of interest will be Doug Armstrong. I'm like, whoa. I mean, to really throw that out there.
Yeah.
Like, you...
Without talking to anybody?
Well, I mean, you would assume that, like, okay, well, did they talk to Army? They talk to the team, whatever. I mean, you're just throwing that out there, man. This guy's under contract. And then there's been speculation and talk about, you know, him having an out clause in his contract, which, you know, a source close to the Blues, who obviously would know, says that is completely false. He does not have an out clause. And I want to make this clear, though. I don't even think Doug Armstrong is really all that interested in doing that. First off, he would never work under Brendan Shanahan. I would say that. And it's not a knock on Brendan. I'm just saying Doug Armstrong isn't going to work under anybody.
He's not going to, yeah.
He's been running his own organization.
Exactly.
He's more than capable. He's proven that. So I don't blame him there. He's not going to. So they would have to restructure things from that standpoint, number one. The Blues would have to give him permission, number two. And Doug Armstrong would truly would have to want to do that. I mean, this is my opinion, Cam. I look at when you take over a team as a GM, like, you got to be thinking long term. This is not a 3-year process. It's not really even a 5-year process. I mean, to me, it's almost like a 10-year process, how you're going to set up your organization for long-term success. Is that something Doug Armstrong would even want to do, man, at 58 years of age? Like, he's set up pretty good. If anything, I would never be shocked if he would be the one to slide up and become the next, a president of the Blues and, like, take on more of a president/consulting role when he's looking to, like, step away. And that's just based on when we had him on, remember?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not going to be like one of these guys who's working into my late 70s and early 80s or whatever, or even into my 70s. I think he wants to enjoy life too.
That's how I would be. You just make as much money as you can and then relax. It's so stressful one way or the other. And you're traveling like, fuck, where is he? Doug was in, like, Finland. Like, look, I know when you love hockey, you want to watch hockey. You like putting pieces together. You like scouting. It must be a great feeling. Traveling all that time, watching a kid out of Finland, and all of a sudden you pick him in the draft and he turns out to be pretty good. That's got to be an awesome feeling. But fuck almighty. Even getting in a plane and going overseas is a pain in the ass. He ain't flying private. Like, that's hard on you, man. It ages you. The stress level, dealing with people, walking around, like, it all adds up. I don't know how guys do it that long. I don't know how Lou Lamoriello does it. He's got a system down. But me, and I'm sure you, if we were in that situation, you do as much as you can. But once you get older, I'm kicking my goddamn feet up and golfing and not having stress and seeing my family. Like, there's just a lot, man. There's a lot to it.
And I think they've got a place out there in Florida too. So, like,
who doesn't?
You know what I mean? So
we're all gonna have a place in Florida.
So, yeah. Well, I'm just, and he said that too when he came on with us.
Yeah.
Man. So you see some of these guys, man. Like,
I like that. I respect
Jim
that.
Rutherford wants to work forever. You know what I'm saying?
Some guys just can't help it.
Some guys are really into that. Ken
it.
Hitchcock was a guy who wanted to, just keep.
They don't know what to do
until there's just no job available.
I'm like, I know what to do with myself. Fuck yeah, it's a grind, man.
So anyway, it kind of put Army in a little bit of a tough situation because, listen, he's not one that's going to come out and respond probably to media reports. You know what I mean?
Just ignore it.
Like, some GMs may come out right away and be like, that is not true. I'm 100% committed.
So is that irresponsible? Is that what you're saying? Whatever happened with this, whoever leaked not leaked, but they really just trying to have an opinion, putting their opinion out there, they all did it at the same time. Is that irresponsible? Because you know for a fact that they didn't even talk to Doug.
I don't know. It's not for me to say irresponsible because I've probably done stuff like that in the past,
I think you have. I think you have.
But I don't know if I would.
Well, what do you think happened?
But see, here's the thing, though. I don't know if I ever look at a GM who's under contract for 3 more years as a guy who's even available.
Yeah,
so I probably have never done that.
Yeah, you might be right on that. I think you would think about it and be like, no, this. I think you would stare at your phone and be like, no, this is not a good
listen.
tweet. But what do you think happened?
And let me say this, too. If I'm Toronto, you know what? Yeah, I want Doug Armstrong, too.
No shit, you do.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, you do.
But first off, like I just went through, it's not happening, like in terms of the team not giving him that opportunity, even if he wanted it, because he's got a contract, doesn't have an out clause. But I don't even know at this stage of his career, does he want to go start over somewhere?
In that market? God, no, dude.
And he gets all the attention he needs that he doesn't even require, but that he gets anyway in Canada by running all the Hockey Canada international tournaments. So, like, he's, if it was about ego, like, I need to be in Toronto because I need all the attention.
Yeah.
Well, he gets plenty of Canadian attention, too.
No. So what do you think?
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Everybody gets Canadian attention.
No, do you understand what I'm saying?
No, Andy. Break it down for me like I'm Thai. Good God. But so what happened then? Do you think they're like, okay, let's get this narrative out there? So why would they start that? How did they start that rumor mill?
Listen, this has kind of been like an elephant in the room, I think, I've heard other people mention stuff like this over the last few years. Maybe at one point in time, for some people, maybe not for Doug Armstrong, maybe one day the idea of being the manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs was like a dream job. I don't know. For some people, maybe it is.
Well, when he was like 14?
Maybe.
I mean, fuck. When you get older, you realize it ain't a dream job. That's
right.
like fucking... That's a stressful job. Dream jobs having a good team in Florida. That's a GM dream job.
Yeah,
having a solid team in Florida.
Right, but you know what I mean, like Canadian kids.
Yeah, when you're young, but then you realize, business-wise, fuck that. Why would I deal with that?
Yeah, but even John Tavares, you know what I'm saying? They had him in his like Maple Leaf pajamas, dude. All the players, a lot of guys would love to play.
It's a bad signing.
A lot of the guys would love to play in Toronto.
Bad signing.
It is. But he still had 80 points this past year. I was looking it up, man.
I know
like,
he did.
You know, he puts up points, and it's like, it's easy to point the finger at like one guy or this guy or that guy. Like, he's part of it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Guy makes way too much money.
Way too much money.
Way too much money. And by signing him to that contract, Cam, they basically, that set up the organization for having to pay Mitchie what they paid him.
They didn't even have to pay
and
Mitchie
Austin
that much.
Matthews
He's a
what
winger.
They had to pay him.
Like, at the time, like, no, did they really have to give Mitchie that much money?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
They jumped the gun on that?
oh my God.
Fuck almighty. I know he had 90.
Yeah,
he had a 94.
like
he had 94 points that year. But did you have to give
No,
him
they did not.
fucking million bucks?
No. It's crazy.
What the fuck is that?
I know.
And then you give Nylander 6. Nylander outplayed both those guys.
Right. And now you may have to end up moving him.
Because that's the only way you can move.
Well,
anybody.
I thought about this too. I would move Marner.
Yes, he's my number
one.
one.
But I don't know if Matthews is going to want that.
That's true.
Okay.
You can't move Tavares. Mitchie could be the next guy, but
Right.
that's taking
so
a big chunk.
Marner's the guy I would move because you can't move Tavares. And I think Nylander, I like watching him play.
I'll take
man.
Nylander 6.5,
Yeah.
6.9.
I know, but that's going to come to an end soon. He's going to want 10. And the thing about Nylander is people have been like overly critical of him in the past, dude.
Yeah.
Like super critical.
Yeah,
so
they do.
I would trade his ass while his value is hot and while it's high
Okay.
too. You know what I mean? Because you never know, that could people could be bitching about Nylander again in another week. He'll be like all over the front pages and the columns.
I like him, man. I like him for that price range, but $10 million, like, I don't know, dude. I just don't know.
I just think anybody who's in Toronto, it's like
They're overvalued.
they're elevated to such a level. It's got to stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anywhere else, although I guess maybe it kind of does. I mean,
Vancouver probably.
yeah,
Montreal,
Vancouver
so.
probably.
I mean, any Canadian.
I'm thinking about Alexander Sasha Barkov, dude. I'm like, this dude is so good. He's better than like pretty much everybody in the league.
See that movie over there?
He's a top 5 player in the NHL. Chris Pronger used to tell me that all the time when he was working with Florida. He's like, I'm telling you, this guy's top 5 in the league. And it's like all you hear about are the Marners,
Of course.
and the Nylanders, and the Elias Petterssons in Vancouver, who's a hell of a player, and whatever. You just hear about all these guys, and Panarin, and I mean Caulfield. He may be better. So you think about all the major markets. Because if he played in a bigger market, dude, this guy would be considered an absolute superstar, which is what he is. But you know what I mean, man. Like, no one even knows who the hell he is. You don't ever hear him talk. He just goes out there, plays a kind of a quiet game, but like loud at the same time.
Sometimes, you want to be popular, but now, like, if I'm like, what a good gig that is.
Oh,
you don't have to worry. Like, fuck. Like, again,
and you're making $10 million.
When I'm young, I want to. But now, like, you get older, like, you just want to hide from people. Like you do. It makes your life less stressful. Yeah. It truly does. Yeah. Man, people, I'm telling you, man.
So if you can win a cup in Florida.
In fucking Florida.
And making $10 million.
And you could do what you want. Your family could go anywhere. No one even talks to you.
I was
so
talking
nice.
to Big Walt about that.
God, that's nice.
Because,
Matthew could recognize, I bet.
Yeah, but.
He just looks.
Cam, dude, I just took my wife to Miami during the bye week.
Yeah.
And. Dude, we had the best time out there. I was trying to find my kids something Florida Panthers related to bring back.
Oh, yeah. You didn't tell Thordy that.
I forgot to tell him. I couldn't find a Florida Panthers hat, a T-shirt. There was nothing, dude. It was Miami Dolphins, even the Marlins.
Oh.
The Heat. There was a ton of Heat shit.
The Marlins?
But I didn't see, and I swear, man, I didn't see one Panthers thing.
That sucks.
On like a main strip. Like where I'm like, oh, there's got to be like a store down here I can find it. It was like our last day.
Really?
Dude, nothing. So, yeah, Matthew may get recognized by, like, a random, like,
maybe
Panthers fan, but here's another example, because the Kachucks who are going to the games now, I said to Big Wall, I'm like, you sit, like, in a suite or whatever. He's like, no, man, we just sit in the stands. He goes, and no one even bothered. No one even knows it's him. Nope. No one knows it's Brady.
Isn't that something? They don't even know Brady.
Brady can go anywhere,
He's 6'4". He look like that's great though. Like again, like I don't want to be smothered like Clayton Keller is, and maybe in Arizona. Like I don't know. There's still a balance. You still want fans. You still want people to talk about you. That's still like a thing that you have in your soul. You bust your ass. Like you want people to talk about you. I get all that. But goddamn, like if you're a superstar and you're making money and the weather's nice and you could go anywhere, no, even if you had a bad game, no one's critiquing you. When you
Tampa Bay is cool too.
Tampa Bay's awesome. No one's critiquing you. You don't have that weirdo fan like, why don't you get another one? Nice penalty the other night. It's not happening.
I want to give Coop a shout out.
Oh, he's great on TV.
He's fucking great.
He's great on TV.
I told him, I said, you got a face for radio, but you're great. But actually, he
he's
fucking
handsome,
looks
dude.
great.
He looks good, dude.
And he's like, well, if my coaching doesn't work out, then maybe I'll look at the.
He was really good.
So it's good to have options. He is, he's very natural on there, man. Like he's
a smart guy.
He did a great job. I like how TNT is kind of rotating in some different guys, man. I love hearing coaches talk. I really do.
I like him better than Hank.
I like Hank. Dude.
I like him
Hank
too.
Brings like a level of like he's got
to have a goalie there. It's good to have a goalie's perspective, 100%. But
he breaks it down pretty
He does.
well.
I get it. I like a coach.
Oh,
I like having a coach.
A coach.
I do. I like having a GM, a coach, something like that. Like they have a little bit of everything, especially a coach.
You know who's a great talker?
Who?
And is that Bruce Cassidy? You ever hear him talk?
I saw some inside stuff that they just have all kinds of shit.
And he's always been like that.
Yeah,
he's tight with Panger. I remember saying that to Panger a few years back, being like, "Dude, I heard a press conference, and I feel like I just learned like a whole
I'm
defensive
learning
zone coverage in 5 minutes."
Well, he's probably a nerd,
a nerd,
a coaching nerd, just like they are.
A coaching nerd,
yeah, a coach nerd. Listen, nerds are cool. Dorks are the dicks.
Oh.
If you're a dork, you're a dick. You're trying to be people. You're trying to be somebody else. You're kind of a nerd. Is just like, man, I like fucking. I'm into, fucking math. I'm into this.
Yeah, nerds are cool.
Nerds are cool, dude.
Yeah,
dorks are bad.
Okay,
that's kind of in between.
A good breakdown. What are you? I'm trying to think what you.
Shite kicking motherfucker. Goddamn. Shite kicker.
Anyway, that was crazy watching that whole thing unfold.
99 chirped Lilise a little bit too.
That they're on the milk.
How's that?
Cartons.
Like you got 99. Look, I do feel like Marner and Matthews kind of like they roll with the punches. They just kind of like they get away from it probably. And
yeah, but you know what?
You never know. But I just think now that 99 kind of threw a bomb on you, that hits a little bit. It does, and it should.
I bet you they don't even care. I mean, I think they do care about winning.
I would say 99 talks about it.
I agree.
It just goes to a different level.
I agree.
Hey, all the fans are like fucking 99.
Some of these younger kids, though, Cam, they're just so that it bounces off, man.
Yeah, the young kids. But you're in the NHL, you know who 99 is. Like he's around all the fucking place.
I got you.
And he's
but
chirping.
He didn't go crazy.
Biz started it.
It wasn't a crazy chirp.
Yeah, but it's still there. Andy, it's still there. Milk cartons.
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Can I ask this though?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just so out of control to play there. Is it 100% on the players, dude? Like, is it hard to play there?
Yeah.
With all that attention.
Very much so.
And the fan base crazy. Everybody having like these radio shows that are televised and they're talking about you.
Carlo's talking about you 24/7.
24/7.
Carlo.
And yeah, but for every Carlo, there's like 10,000 more of them.
Shit.
And like I was talking to a buddy of mine who actually went to the like one of the playoff games against Tampa Bay. And I said, "Oh, how awesome was it?" And he was like, "Oh, it's great, man. It's like a different experience because it's Canada, it's the playoffs." He goes, "But it's just utter chaos. There's chaos everywhere." And that's what so they just live in this chaotic bubble, man, where
can't do much.
It's almost impossible for them not to have like an elevated view of who they are and who the team is and all that because they're getting so much attention that I just think I think and the media, the scrutiny, I think there's something to be said for it, man. I think it's all part of why they just don't seem to have a whole lot of success.
At the beginning, you're like, "Wow, I'm in the Mecca," and then once you're playing good, and once you have a couple bad games, and you see it, then you start getting rocked, and you're like, "Whoa, this is intense." Everywhere I go, I'm getting fucking chirped. Like I remember, and look again, like I worked hard and I did my thing. I never got chirped anywhere, and even hanging out with the guys, and we'd lose 5-0 or something. Bergie and Osh, people in St. never chirped us. Nah, I had one guy dump a thing on me one time for my agent. What is this drunk, goofy guy is bothering me? But never got chirped ever by anybody, except for the one time when I almost got into a fight with what's his name, Richie Incognito.
He would have crushed you.
He would have beat the motherfucker.
He would have crushed you.
Did I ever tell that story in here?
You did.
Okay.
Did I ever tell you my story with Richie Incognito?
Yeah, I think you did too. Andy.
Which one was it?
I think you've told all your stories.
Which one was it?
You're at the Rams Park or something?
Yeah. Okay, well, he played for the Rams.
I usually forget your stories. What happened?
Well, your story was you.
Well, how about I tell it and you tell yours and we'll compare them?
Well, because you've told it before, so it doesn't have to be the long one.
I won't be a long
one.
Like,
you tried to look at his girl or something like that.
No. See, this is where you ever play that game in school?
Telephone.
Yeah, and it goes through, and then all of a sudden it's like
Cam's trying to look at Richie. He's like, no. She's like, "Where's your boyfriend?" He's like, thinking some little computer guy is gonna come over.
You think his girlfriend was that?
350 pounder with tattoos who's ready to grab you.
I'll explain it, Andy, because your story anyway. So I'm at Harry's, which is like a really popular bar at the time, and I'm there with just my buddies, not like hockey guys, nobody tough, no shit kicker, just like a bunch of my buddies. We're just there to wheel girls. That's all we're doing. I know everybody there. Like, everybody's nice, always cool. No one bugs me. The Rams were there. That's when they sucked. They were terrible. And they were there at the beginning of summer because they just got in, and the whole team was there, basically. And I knew, and I partied with a handful of guys on that particular team.
Any of your teammates there?
No, nobody was there. Nobody tough. This is in the middle of summer. No one's there. And so we're all kind of hanging out, and we're just talking to different girls, and da-da-da. And Justin Fry, who looks like Richie Incognito,
he's an offensive lineman.
Yes,
too. Yeah.
Big hillbilly boy. Said something, and we're talking, and he, out of context, just came up and started kind of chirping. I'm like,
Justin Fry was chirping you. Who were you talking to?
I don't know. It's a big group of people, Andy. It doesn't matter. I wasn't doing anything.
It wasn't like whatever.
Fuck no, man. I'm just like, dude, we had girl.
And he just comes over and starts chirping.
Kind of chirping. And I'm like, okay, what's up?
Chirping your whole crew or just
you?
a
little bit. Like a fucking hockey pussy. I'm like, oh. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, okay, man, all good, homie. No big deal. I'm here to get vagina.
Justin Fry is ready to. He's ready to throw
it
down.
He's 350.
In my neighborhood, something would have gone down.
He'd eat you guys. 350. So I'm like, okay. And then Richie gets into it. And so these guys are trying to fight me. They're both 350 fucking pounds. And besides a handful of guys that I knew, their whole fucking team was yelling, "Get him!"
No.
Yes. Get him! Get him! Beat his ass! I go, what?
Oh.
You guys are going to beat me up? The whole place is going to turn upside down. The cops are going to arrest every single one of us. They're probably going to tase your fucking ass because I know them. And you're going to risk your whole career by beating me up for no fucking reason.
You said that?
No, but I'm like, this is ridiculous. I go, fuck, nah, I'm out of here. I don't fucking care about you. I'm like, give me away. I'm not having you kick my ass and we all get arrested because you kick my ass. No way. But the point is, if I'm on a hockey team and we're at a bar and somebody's getting in, you grab that guy. Look, we're getting out of here. We can't get in trouble. We got our career on the line. We got to get the fuck out of here. We don't want anybody knowing. Their whole stupid loser team.
We're telling them to fight you.
We're telling them to fight me. Stupid.
You don't think?
And then Keith Kachuk made fun of me on the radio the next day because I turned him down.
Turned him down.
I turned down Richie. So they got out in the locker room, and Walt told the story on radio. He's like, Cam's the biggest pussy. They're like, why? He goes, he turned down Richie.
You don't think you could have
No way. Andy, when you're 350.
Not him, dude. He's an angry,
no, even Justin
crazy
Fry. Listen
man.
to me.
I'm asking about the other guy.
I know how to evaluate that more than you can imagine. I know where I'm at. I know my strength. I know how tough I am. Relatively speaking, like on the ice, I'm tough. But off the ice, like if I'm going against an MMA guy and they know jiu-jitsu, they're going to get me. Unless I'm way stronger than them, they're going to get me. And I know that. Now, I'm still a wrestler. I know how to box. I know my movements and I can eat a punch. But if a guy is an athlete and he outweighs you by 100 pounds and he's stronger than a son of a bitch, he's going to double leg me, Andy, and he's going to be on top of me, and there's nothing I could do. So no, I'm not going to fight a guy that big. That's athletic. If I had to, I would. And try to knock him out right off the bat. I'd have to catch him square.
What if he wasn't athletic? And he's
I'd have a better
350
chance.
pounds.
I'd have a better chance. Okay. He'd probably have a heart attack because I'm in shape at the time. And but he would have got me, Andy. And I know that. And I know that.
Here's how I would have handled the situation in that particular situation.
Oh God. And you cry for help? Like, what would you do?
Probably.
But
you mind if I make a phone call?
What's that?
I said, you mind if I call somebody?
Yeah, can I call some people?
Like the police?
Those stupid asses. Get him, Richie. Get him. Like, what?
Hey, man, police show up on the scene. They don't want to mess with that guy either. Those two guys, what do you think they're thinking when they see?
Well, I mean, they would have saw me get my ass kicked.
I know, but you got to, go apprehend,
police knew who I was.
Two athletic, 350-pound crazies.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Those police have to fucking chase after all kinds of crazy ass people, man.
Okay, so Richie Incognito was like, and he, for people who don't know, he's like bounced from several teams. He was constantly getting penalized. He's getting in fights. I think he had some issues at Arizona State.
Oh yeah, yeah. He said some
like he's very violent.
He tortured like the rookies and stuff, and was like,
oh, he'd fight on during training camp. I remember being at training camp practices. He'll literally grab somebody's helmet, rip it off their head, and start like beating them with it.
Like Myles Garrett. Right?
Oh yeah, but like really doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
stepping on guys'
this
hands.
guy's
like,
violent.
Yeah,
they had to like pull him off the field one time because he couldn't stop getting like personal fouls.
Yeah.
Like on one specific like series.
Yeah.
And they like literally took him out. Like
He's
it was
crazy,
like it was like a basketball substitution. Like you just don't ever see it. So anyway, he was like getting really like criticized. So on my radio show that morning, I was with the football guys. We talked a ton of football, and I called him like a thug or something like that. I'm like, this dude's like a thug.
That's a no-no now to say that.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's kind of
I have
trending.
to take that out?
No, Andy. No, you don't.
Well, maybe that wasn't the right word. I don't know.
Okay. I'll correct you. It's all good. You do it to me. We got to help each other.
Thug meaning like he's literally fighting on the football field.
I know what a thug means.
Damn.
What?
That's a bad thing to say.
Well, I think, and I'm used to being dead serious, because I think it's kind of like I think words evolve, and I think that's like a bad word.
No, I think so too.
I think thugs are thugs, man. Mm-hmm. Like they're robbing you at gunpoint, they're fucking breaking you. Like that's thug. Thugs, like I look at thugs like like back in the day would be, a mobster, and he's got his fucking thugs kick that door down and go collect money.
Well,
but now it turned into something different, and I think,
well, I don't know.
That's okay, Andy. Yeah. You're learning. It's all good.
Well, there was nothing
it's
said
all good.
at the time when it was said on the radio.
And he's like the most like he would never, anyway, it's all good.
So anyway, I get to Rams Park, dude, and the PR department, who's now the PR department down there in LA, they pull this prank on me, and they're like, hey, come in, we want to see you. They're like, dude, it got around the room. Richie's pissed that you called him that.
Yeah.
And he wants to like talk to you. We keep saying no, we're not letting him. So just like hang around us, whatever. Just be around us during practice.
God.
So then they come back and they're like, hey man, we just talked to Richie. We're gonna let him like chat with you. He wants to see you, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not even like, is he really gonna like beat the crap at Rams Park?
I don't beat you up, dude.
I'd have a lawsuit. I'd sue Roger Goodell and everybody.
The whole league, dude.
The whole league. I'm like, I was not like nervous from that stand. I'm like, because I would have been like, dude, I'm just fucking around. It's a radio show.
Yeah.
And then they told me that they were just joking, like later on that day.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Not that funny, but it's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. I bet you it scared you a little bit.
Well, I was just like, yeah.
Hey, when you're on the radio,
sometimes you know what? That's how you learn, though. I from that point going forward, it kind of stuck with me. I don't. And you know this, Cam. You can back this up. I don't go after like players like that and shit like that on the radio. I'm pretty careful.
I get chirpy poo now.
Do you?
Yeah. I think I'm getting more and more chirpy poo, but it's more like I just want to entertain. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if I'm chirping you, it's probably there's a fucking reason for it. I mean, everybody gets chirped.
Yeah, but chirping for like a player who's not performing is different than like.
Yeah, like you don't want to be a hack radio guy.
No.
But if you're. Sometimes it's funny to chirp. I get chirped. You get chirped. We chirp each other. Like, that's entertaining. People like to hear that, As long as it doesn't go too far and it's not deserving, but who cares, man? Like, I look at it like you got to entertain people.
I think Joe Buck once said, like, don't be that hot shock jock type guy because...
Well, okay, Joe. Okay, Joe, thank you. Well, I'm going to be just like you then. Okay,
no,
see if that works.
No, listen. Don't be that shock jock until you're, like, established and you have credibility where you can be that guy.
Well, usually...
Opinionated, hardcore.
Usually,
some of those...
The way to get that way is you have to be a shock jock.
Like, hey, let's bring our intern on for the first time. Told me, give him an opportunity to kind of talk. So what do you think of the Blues? He sucks. This guy's, it's just
fine.
Maybe
there's a balance to that too, because there's some people like that are on radio that don't even have a personality. It's like, why are you here then? Mm-hmm. Like you got to be somewhat shocking.
Like, how did you get the job?
Like, why are you don't like? I crave even coming on here, just like you do. Uh-huh. I want to show off your personality. Shoot the shit. Like, we might have to edit a couple things out because we're a little too wild, but like, I get excited about like talking. Let's go. I want to entertain people. On the radio, we do the same shit. Like, I want to go in like, how creative we're going to be today. Yeah. Sometimes you're edgy. So my wife got a little pissed because we were talking about a couple things today, but I'm like, I can't think about her getting mad at me talking about something today.
She got mad at you?
Not mad, but she's like, okay, easy on that, Cam. Like, you're being, I'm like, okay, whatever. But like, you can't let that bother you. People loved it. You got to entertain. We work for them. That's how I look at it. All y'all out there that are busting Andy and I work for you. We're here to entertain you. You help us with our sponsors. You keep this goddamn thing going. We're here to entertain you. That's how I look at it. So sometimes you got to be edgy. You can't just think, well, I don't want to talk. You might fuck up. Somebody might get pissed, and you go and you talk and you explain it and you apologize and you move on. You can't overthink shit when you're in entertainment business.
The really no personality guy, like, what do you think his job interview was like?
I'm gonna give you stats.
So what makes you think you want to host the
a couple guys
afternoon drive show? Well, this guy would be perfect.
Well,
he just say anything.
I know, dude. It's like you want to be on radio, and then you're on radio and you don't do anything. You got to be different. It's like your podcast has to be different. There's got to be something different about it. You can't just be normal. You can't be Joe Buck. Like, Joe Buck's pretty fucking normal. Like, he's good at what he does. He's well-spoken. He thinks he's funny. I don't think he's funny. I don't even think his calls are that great. And that's a hot take. And I know the guy. I don't even think his calls are that great.
I think he's great.
I just think, and he had that HBO thing, and he thinks he's funny, and he gets Artie Lang on there. Artie fucking runs his show. And it's just like, so Joe Buck tells you, hey, don't be that. No, be yourself. Be creative, but you got to be kind of loud, or shit ain't gonna work.
No,
you better be really smart.
There's a difference between being loud and being entertaining, dude. There's a little bit. Well, there's a difference. You being loud, like Stephen A. Smith is loud, but he's more entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
There's a balance to everything. As long as you're entertaining, you can be loud. But if you're not entertaining, dude, loud, and you're annoying,
no one could ever, like, the NHL does not have thick enough skin. If Stephen A. Smith, if somebody went on ESPN and talked about NHL players the way that he'll talk about an NBA player, dude.
Everybody's blowing each other.
It would never, ever.
There might be somebody that says, "Yeah, like, well, Wayne through that. Hey, there's milk carton." Like, that's as much as you're gonna get. I know,
and you're like, "Oh, do you think they're really upset about that?"
Well, if Wayne,
I'm like, no. They probably don't like getting chirped, but you know what?
Well, they're not used to it.
Austin Matthews has had, and Mitch Marner has probably had plenty of interaction with Wayne in the past, where Wayne's like, "You're a fucking stud."
I just think
you keep doing.
If Biz says it, Witt or somebody, but Wayne comes back.
Oh, that'll get your attention.
And it blows up all over, and he's talking about.
Did it blow up?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yes. They clipped that off. Spitting Chicklets clipped it
all
off
over.
Everywhere. Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It didn't just happen and that was a big deal. So you don't think, hey, Wayno's chirping you.
Yeah.
Hey, 99's got you.
That's not
exactly.
Good. That's not good.
Good.
I'll give that to you.
They're on the boat right now, chilling. He's hanging out with Bieber. They're okay. I mean, but he got rocked for a day.
Better watch out for those carjackers.
Did you see?
He was hanging out in very bad neighborhoods, I think.
Well, fucking Bush State here in St. Louis, guys.
Oh my God. All the cars got broken into.
Listen, a goddamn day game in St. Louis. 35 fucking cars got robbed during the day. Brightest day of the year. People are everywhere. 35 cars. And then like 4 of them were fucking gun to the head carjackings.
No.
Yes.
I didn't hear that part.
Dude, people are like, what the fuck is this? Because it's expensive parking close to Busch Stadium. And people are complaining about it, dude. So they got to park a couple streets over. Andy. See, and they're getting rocked.
It's kind of like what I was talking to you about, how they have all the fast food restaurants in the poor neighborhoods and stuff like that.
Well, like in the middle of Missouri.
So now like
where all the
now they force you to like park further away.
Exactly. Yeah, they're forcing you to eat like shit.
And have to walk through the freaking terrible, the more dangerous spots versus like being in like a populated area where you're close to the stadium and it's like a couple minute walk or whatever, 30-second walk.
You got to pay $50 to park in a safe spot.
And where the police are usually.
Yeah, you got to pay $50 for that. And like if you're coming, you got your kids. Man. You're a blue collar dude. You're driving already far into St. Louis because St. Louis is spread out. And then you take your kids. That's an expensive journey. Like that's expensive. And now you got to pay an extra $40.
I know.
To get close so you don't get goddamn carjacked.
I would just recommend
my God,
Ubering down.
Yeah, that costs money. You're gonna tell a guy from
you got to pay for parking anyway.
Well, I'm just telling you. Like, you get an Uber from way out. Like, there's people all over the place, Uber, and I don't know. I don't know, man.
You're parking, dude. You got to pay for it.
You know? Or you roll the dice. Because an Uber's going to cost you $50, but I guess parking's going to cost you $50. Okay, it's the same. Yeah. But if you roll the dice and park a $10 parking lot, you might get in the broad daylight. Let alone a 7:30 game. Mm-hmm. This was a 1 o'clock game. They got rocked in broad daylight. So anyway, no, it's all good.
All right, can I ask you about the Coyotes situation?
Yeah, you're doing good.
What's your take?
What's a joke? What do you mean? Like, what a disaster. They don't even want you there. I know it's all old people in, like, the district. Like, the voting system, I believe what I read, is like, it was just like a tight little community.
It's not all old people that live there, though. So if they're saying only the old people came out and
in this
voted,
particular, but there's only a certain area that was able to vote. Like a small little percentage of like the surrounding.
Of Tempe?
Yes, of the surrounding areas. So they couldn't get people from the surrounding. So it's just like a small little community.
Well, you're voting in that. Well, Tempe's a big community.
I know, that's what I read. I could be completely wrong on that. But the point, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. They voted it down. Like, it doesn't, like, really, you don't want a beautiful facility that creates jobs and stuff like that. I mean, I wonder what
and was all there? The real estate around
of all the real estate around it. But they're probably like,
we'd rather have a landfill.
We don't want traffic. Like, okay, like, that's it. You don't want to bring in all this revenue, all this new development because you're worried about traffic. Like, you can't think that way. Like, you got to build up this shit, man. You might have a fucking a hockey team that you've had there for quite some time, and you're just struggling and struggling. You have this opportunity to build this fantastic facility, and who knows who you might attract to come to that place. You could have a game changer come down there. But no, you voted it down, and now everything's up in the air. People are like, bring it to Quebec. I don't think so. You got to have some fucking money up there. There's not enough money in Quebec, corporate money, to support that. This is all what I'm reading, and I kind of agree with that. And Salt Lake City's the same thing. Not much corporate money there, but that looks like a community.
More, and they
got more.
They've got an
But
owner.
That's still one of the negatives. It's corporate money because Houston has all kinds of money, and people and all kinds of shit.
Houston's like the one big major city that like I've never even considered going to.
It's top 4. It's the 4th biggest
market. Have you ever been to Houston?
No.
Like, what do you do in Houston?
Buy a bunch of shit.
I know. I'm just like...
Or you're not skiing.
No.
And you're not going to the ocean.
No.
Right? Because it's not really near the ocean.
It looks great to me.
There's crime there, too.
It looks great. And I know they have... The skies are gray right now in Houston. Yeah.
That's up north. Yeah, okay, it could be a cloudy day, but it's usually pretty sunny.
And it's like a monster city. How is it so big?
It's spread out, probably. It's Texas, man. Texas has 3 major cities.
Dallas is just kind of has a lure to it. Like, you want to go to Dallas. Dallas is cool. Like,
Austin's cool too.
Austin.
Listen,
Houston, I just haven't really
the 3 big boys.
No one's ever said, "Hey, come on, let's go to Houston."
Yeah, I know. Hey, I would probably say no.
Cam, let's take a trip to Houston.
And do what? Like, if you go to Salt Lake City, I'll go on that huge
fucking Park City, baby.
Yes, go there. I want to ski. I want to get on that beautiful lake.
Zion National Park, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Beautiful. Houston, I don't know.
I ain't going to Houston. We'll go to the Astros.
Am I gonna hang out with Paul Wall?
The Astros game. They always had the worst stadium in the league. It's always like an indoor stadium.
It is.
The Astrodome was fucking terrible.
Astrodome,
old school. I like the Rockets are okay. You know, they've had some championships and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know enough about them.
Well, that's where Hakeem Olajuwon played.
I remember him. But I just, Houston's still a nice city. Like, I would think that would be Salt Lake City and Houston more than Quebec City. Everybody wants Quebec City, but a lot of Canadians do.
Although they want that expansion money from Houston as an expansion team, right?
Oh, so they want to
I think there would be a relocation fee, but I can't imagine a relocation fee being nearly as high as what you'd get in an expansion.
I get that. That could make sense.
You know what I'm saying? So
Salt Lake City's that would be the coolest.
Oh, yeah. Salt Lake City.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes.
It looks like hockey. Like, just the backdrop looks beautiful. Remember the outdoor game there, how beautiful it was?
No, that was in Lake Tahoe.
Okay, whatever. Close enough. Looks the same.
Kind of.
Looks the same.
Yeah. My brother lives out there. Park City,
Utah. Nice. A lot of Mormons.
Yes.
A lot of Mormons.
Yes.
And they do a weird thing called So when you're Mormon and you want to have sexual intercourse, you're not allowed to because you're going to hell, I think.
That
right?
is not true.
No. Okay. Well, you're not allowed to have sex before marriage.
Well, that's how it is in Catholics, too.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, you're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is kind of put their wee-wee in a little bit and then like shake the bed instead of like going in and out. It's called soaking. So like they kind of do it and they kind of do it. It's the most bizarre fucking thing in the world.
Did you watch
It's called
this
soaking.
on that
Very bizarre.
On that show, Sisterhood or something like that?
Jesus
Hold
Christ.
on. Dude, it was like they were all married to the same guy.
Jesus.
There's like 8 of them. And they had like this monster house. All these kids everywhere, dude. And he's like, hey, baby. He's like talking to all of them. And then the other girl comes in.
He's like,
It was like crazy.
is he like Bin Laden?
No, he
15?
reminded me of like that dude from Waco.
Oh, David Koresh.
David Koresh.
Come
dude.
on in here. No, the men, you go into that room.
Oh, yeah.
I want the women and the daughters.
8 of them.
Yeah.
I think it's called Sister Wives.
Yeah. You would watch something like
Sister Wives was a hell of a show, dude. I want everyone to go and like search that and
So is this dude banging all these chicks?
All of them.
that. Oh, how cool is that?
With a sick ass house, dude. And then like maybe some controversy came out a little bit about him.
Would you have 5 multiple wives?
No.
If you were like a billionaire, just have multiple wives. You know.
I don't think I would.
That happens in other countries. Multiple wives.
Yeah, Keller's dad had a comment or two.
Look, yeah, comment.
He was hacked.
Hey, I don't. Yeah, sure. If I'm, fuck. You know what? Who gives a shit? If I'm Clayton's dad, I'm like, fuck
No
this
shit.
dude.
You
Get
know
the
what?
fuck out of here.
Damn right I want a new arena. I want my
shit.
kid out of there.
Get outta
My kid's
here.
one of the best players in the league.
one's
dude,
watching
and he's
him.
in this embarrassing organization
No
that
one's watching
can't
him.
like figure things out.
Jesus Christ.
I don't mean to call them an embarrassing organization
Oh, but
because
they
I
kinda
hear
are.
this guy, Xavier Gutierrez,
Yeah.
the president, is working his ass off trying to get something done here. And, you know, I've known Bill Armstrong, man. I just
Like
don't
him a
attach
lot.
him to the situation.
You
I
like him.
tweeted out, man, that I feel bad for the players, and I'll add the coaches and the GM into that
I
category.
agree with that.
Because, like, these players deserve better. They deserve to feel like they play in the National Hockey League, and they deserve the same experience of playing in the NHL that everybody else does. Now, the cash is the check's still cash, and they're still getting paid. But you know what?
embarrassing.
They're not trying to win. And
I got chirped today about this.
did you?
So I go, because I chirp the WNBA here and there because they think that they,
Well, I'll get into Brittany.
Brittany
She's
Griner and
played
all
2
that.
games so
and,
far
and
this
her
season.
her coach is like,
They
I can't believe we didn't sell out. Well, you're
Well-
the WNBA. I mean, come on. But
no, I don't.
so-
no. They should have sold that game
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Although Phoenix didn't sell their game out, the first home game that she came back. By the way, I call her BG.
yeah, it's your girl. Although I seen some video of her.
Well, I don't. That's not
Yeah,
BG.
she doesn't look
that's
like a
not.
girl to
That's
me.
not BG.
All good.
That's not BG.
Okay, but anyway,
Can you say BG? 'Cause
yeah? When
no,
I was
say BG. Yeah, thank you.
when I was on the radio today, I was kind of like I always try to be funny with whatever. You know, I'm like, what's the biggest news today? And they're like, I go, no, Brittany Griner came back, whatever. I'm just trying to be funny. And then a guy on my show goes, because I was kind of making fun of like they always think that they deserve to have all like that 50 million people should be watching this sport. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. But my buddy Matty goes, they got more fans than the Coyotes do. I go, oh, you're right. They got more twice as many as the Coyotes. The WNBA.
BG gets more attention.
BG got
than,
more attention than the Coyotes. They attracted more fans than the Arizona Coyotes. Like that's like I'm like, whoa, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're damn right.
So, now the Coyotes don't play in a stadium that big. Although I don't even know if they sell out the
But
5,000.
it doesn't
seat
matter.
arena.
Like it's just still like a
yeah.
hey.
And when they were in Glendale,
You're going to chirp the WNBA. The NHL
listen,
has a team. That's
So years ago, so Cam, I
5,000
went to college in Northern Arizona University.
Yeah, we know.
I played on their club hockey team.
Yeah,
Scored a goal first game against San Jose State.
cool man.
Still remember it on the PK, I think.
I bet you remember.
So anyway, listen, we used to go down to games at the old America West Arena, dude, which they've now renovated. They got this younger guy who bought the Suns, by the way, billions and billions of dollars. He looks, he's doing his thing. I think he's talking shit to like LeBron or somebody. I don't know what he was doing. I forgot who it was. But anyway, he used to play at Michigan State, played basketball there. But when I went to NAU, we would go down to games, dude, and watch the Coyotes play. They had Roenick and Kachuk, and it was like sick back then.
It's kind of cool back then, yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
A lot of fans.
Yeah.
Wasn't the greatest place to watch hockey, but like, dude, they
15,000 seat?
At least, dude. I mean,
I thought it was a small
No,
rink.
you felt like you were at an NHL game, like there was like packed house.
Okay, cool.
In like an arena. But there were some obstructive views that happened.
Yeah,
like,
that's what.
inside the arena. So like I never sat in those seats though. So I don't know. Maybe I guess there were certain areas. But hey, listen, fans, just don't buy that ticket where you can't see. Okay, like buy the other.
The A's have that too.
There's other seats you can sit in. So I never sat in a seat at a Coyotes game that I couldn't see. So I don't know. I guess a lot of people had that experience. So Glendale gives them like this incredible deal. Like, we'll build you an arena out here. So the Coyotes jumped at it, and that proved to be the worst decision that they ever made.
Oh, my God.
Because you're going all the way out to Glendale. The majority of your hockey fans are in the Chandler, Scottsdale area. And, it's like 40, 45 minutes away. And, the game started at 7 o'clock. You know how it is, man. You get off school. You have no time. Your
I think
kids
they're
have
really hardcore in drunk driving down there, too.
Really?
Yeah, they'll like... Yeah, so that's a big deal. I think it's pretty hardcore if you do it down there. Like,
you go
even
in
more.
Joe's camp out there?
What?
You know Joe? Sheriff Joe? Out of Arizona, dude? And he puts you in these camps, those tents.
The fuck you talking about, boy?
Dude, you get arrested for like DUIs and shit. He puts you in the
that's what I'm saying.
What's it called, man? Look that up. The those tents, dude. Sheriff Joe. Look up Sheriff Joe. From Arizona. I can't believe you don't know this.
Man,
dude.
maybe I do. I don't know. But
like the black and white striped shit, they're on the side of the highway picking up trash and stuff, man.
That's normal.
I know, but Tent City, I think they call it Tent City. It's hot as shit.
Yeah.
In the middle of the desert, dude, and they're living in these tents. The prisoners.
Because of a D-dub?
You get multiple D-dubs and other crimes, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But like hardcore, irrationally hardcore. Like took a lot of heat, dude. This guy's like cutthroat in terms of the Sheriff Joe.
Okay. But the point is, though.
Look at Sheriff Joe. I can't believe you don't know Sheriff Joe, man.
A long, lawless ride of Sheriff Joe. Okay. Well,
those
criminals, fucking put them away.
Well, go read about them.
Okay, I will.
Tonight. Because then come back to me about Sheriff Joe.
Andy found something.
Come back to me. So then they moved down there. That was the worst decision they ever made. Cam, they had like a lot of fans, dude. They had star power. Pronger's one of the best players in franchise history.
Yeah, and Datsuk played for Arizona. They didn't
but
play.
Anyway, but they had, Happy Bullen, dude. A bunch of really
Tempo Newman.
Tempo Newman. That's what I was thinking of, too. So anyway, Dallas Drake, I like watching them play.
Yeah, they were cool.
Going down to games. A lot of fans. Moved out to Glendale, and that's where everything went to shit. But it's like one thing after another. And this story and this side, it just won't go away, won't end. And I'm told the players were completely blindsided. The organization completely blindsided by the results of this vote because all the early indication, like the early polling, Cam. I don't know if you were watching the early polling. The mail-in votes, all of that.
Oh, the mail-in vote.
All of that was like showing the opposite. Like they were overwhelmingly expected to win, and it was very favorable in the early the mail-in votes. But they also took some heat. There's been some reports out there about Arizona, the Coyotes, dude, that they only invested like $250,000 into their marketing campaign for this vote, whereas the opposition, their marketing campaign, something like $2 million were invested.
Okay, but sometimes you have funds that
they've got, dude. They had like Bill Armstrong and the president. I don't know if players. I think Tyson Nash.
Oh God!
Knocking door to door in Tempe. The GM of the day is knocking door
like
to door.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah. Like,
where you just ignore
Hey,
them.
we're going to build a stadium down there if you can vote yes. I was doing that when I was trying to get my fence extension. I had to have agreement.
Really?
Remember I had to file agreement.
Oh, your neighborhood?
And I won that shit. All the neighbors.
Stingy ass.
I moved in there. All the neighbors were like, nobody's ever won when they file a grievance.
Yank.
I'm like, we're about to change that. I went toe to toe. It had to be on Zoom because of COVID.
Oh God.
And so here I am, man, and I'm going against all these board members, dude. I remember one guy yelling, just give the guy the fence.
Man, oh shit.
And we won it.
I know I make fun of that, but like those guys are like in suits, and they roll up to my house. I don't ignore them. I said I do, but I don't.
Oh,
you know what I do?
Nice
I go out there and I talk to them, and I don't talk about like Jesus and stuff. But I'm like, "What's up, guy? You good? You all right? What's up? You want some water?"
I ask them questions.
You want anything? I go, "Hey, you guys good?"
Exactly.
And they're like, "Well, we want to tell you about the good word." And I'm like, "No, that's all good. Just like, what's up with
my
you?
kids
You all right?
think it's hilarious.
Yeah, they're nice. Dude.
I know.
Like,
my kids and my wife will be in the house laughing so hard when I'm talking to the people that come.
I'm so nice. And so when I lived in my old house, I would say this though, because my parents live next door. I go, hey, which way you guys going? Oh, you going? Hey, go ahead and skip them.
Hey,
skip them.
Yeah,
because they're not gonna.
Like some people are just like, I'm not interested.
I'm nice to them. No, I'm not interested. But I want to be nice to you because you're working hard, man. He's sweating. These guys are so sweet, and they're in these like cheap ass wool suits. I'm like, God. I go, you gonna wear that?
Yeah.
Like, who's your boss?
Are you in favor of do you like overtime hockey? Like, are you okay watching like 5 overtime periods?
It's different, dude. I love it. It's miserable for them, but it's miserable for a lot of
people. Or
would
you rather the game be settled?
No,
in an earlier
no. That's
fashion?
What makes it unique.
Yeah.
And stressful,
because
and
people
God
are talking
awful
about that. Again.
So what? I know Brent Bird's played 54 minutes. I know that these games are awesome.
I think Montour played 58.
He played a whole game,
2 games.
So it's like
a whole game. Yeah, well, 60-minute game, but 2 games.
Yeah,
really.
like you didn't come off the ice, and so it's like I love that. Now is it great on the play? No, is it hard on injuries and travel? Yeah. But so what? It's entertaining.
They recovered, man. They came out and they had energy there in game 2.
Yeah, and the ice gets shitty.
The overtime hockey is not great to watch because everyone's so scared to make the mistake. But it keeps you locked in because once one mistake or obviously the next goal ends the game, so you're locked.
But if anybody has a scoring chance, you're just like, oh God,
oh my God,
either let go or
sometimes
like
I'm
you
not
close
ready
your eyes
for it to end,
dude.
yet.
It's the most stressful shit in the world, dude. It truly is. And we were invested with the Blues in 2019, and before that, I wasn't invested in the other team, but the Blues and those overtime games, man, because like the better they do, the better we do. Like it directly correlates. Like Andy and I were a part of the whole thing. Like if they win, we're gonna have a kick-ass summer. Like it directly affects us, although we don't play on the team. Mm-hmm. So it's like, no, like that was stressful, not just as a fan, but like for us, like pump up the podcast or like your work or my work and stuff like that. We knew we were going to be able to party with the cup. So like every playoff game was meaningful, especially when they went into overtime, and it was stressful as hell. But that's what's hot. That's what's good about hockey. Like you want that. You want that kind of emotion. From 0 to 100, from 0, or like you're down or you're up, you're down. Like it's good for the game. But man, you go for 4 overtimes, like
dude.
Fuck.
I think it was the 6th longest game ever.
Yeah. There was some really long.
There's been some 5s.
There was a couple.
There's been a 6, I believe.
Well, Peter Laviolette, who we had on, who's such a good guy, awesome man, great coach, fucking has done it all. He had a long one, and it's just like the first period, he's got a long speech. The second period, it kind of dwindles down. Third period's kind of like a
Did
pump
Tampa
up.
Bay have a 5 overtime?
Yeah, and then
in the bubble against Columbus.
Yes, talk about
with
miserable.
Like no fans.
And then they probably left that rink, and that you couldn't eat because of COVID. Mm-hmm. You couldn't go in a restaurant. You just gotta. Who the fuck that bubble, dude? Mm-hmm. Oh God. I hope that just doesn't in our lifetime just doesn't happen again.
The bubble. I hope
COVID.
Not.
COVID, all that.
What is
in our lifetime? We got rocked twice. What were they?
Y2K was
get out of
there
here.
Was a lot of speculation.
9/11.
One time
9/11 and COVID.
Yes.
In our lifetime. So far.
You put them in the same category?
No, I said in our lifetime, the 2 biggest thing that rocked our world globally in our lifetime. Not World War II. We didn't go through Vietnam yet. Yes, the Iraq War and all that stuff. That was a slow fucking ordeal. The 2 things that rocked us. Goddamn 9/11 and COVID.
And JFK being assassinated.
Yeah, but we weren't alive then, you goofball. Jesus Christ. I can't even have a conversation with him. No. 9/11 and fucking COVID.
I didn't know you were saying your lifetime.
How old are you?
Your lifetime. I see you're saying. No, I wasn't alive when JFK
that directly
got
affected our way of life. Both of them did, and that's the 2 biggest things that's happened in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. Name me another one. What's more?
Well, I can think of something. Just give me a minute.
Name me one. Those are the 2, and we're lucky so far.
Probably.
There's gonna be another one.
Desert Storm, maybe.
No, Desert Storm didn't affect you. You even know what's going on in the early '90s.
The Patriots beating the Rams in the Super Bowl.
And then Joe Buck's like, and Manning comes out of the pocket.
Oh, that is not him. I can't believe you're chirping him. He's going to hear this, dude.
And he did catch the ball.
You act like it's Pat Summerall or something. There's Barry Sanders.
Everybody in St. Louis, everybody's got podcasts.
Touchdown.
Everybody, announcement to make. I'm getting Joe Buck on. And people are like, I've heard everything about Joe Buck.
I got a new show. We're going to have the biggest guest ever. First week, Joe Buck. He was also the last guest I had on my last show.
The second week, Darren Pang.
And then the third week, we'll do Joe again.
We'll do a Cardinals player that you've heard 50,000 times over with. Mm-hmm. Because in St. Louis, you guys might, Joe Buck, it's a St. Louis thing, like if you're like, I got Joe Buck's my first
show. He's my first
show. He goes
show.
on every fucking show. It's nothing new.
He's the leadoff hitter.
He's a leadoff hitter, man. Hey, let me ask you guys out there, by the way. If we did veer off and get another guest, what would you want? Would you want another would you want another athlete? Would you want a musician? That's my number. An actor or something? Like what would I just don't want to piss you guys off because you're used to hockey. But we just want to entertain you. Like, we'll try to entertain you one way or the other. I know you're grinding, you're doing your shit, you put your phone down, and you're jamming out to us. I get all that. But I'm just curious on what you guys would think if we did veer off and kind of go in a different direction, maybe from once or twice a year, whatever it is. Just, what would you think would be the coolest? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think a musician, dude. That's my opinion. I want to pick your brain about travel. Yeah. How did you figure that out? What is your stage? Mm-hmm. Like, I'd
probably talk to like a pit master or something like that. Yeah. That I can.
You got beaked pretty hard about that fucking thing. I know I was being a dick to you because I think you kind of like tee me up to be an asshole.
Oh my God, I got a few of those this past week. They're not happy with you. I know, right now.
And I'm trying to be chill today because sometimes like.
Oh, were you getting some of that? Because they told me they were going to come to my defense.
No, I don't think anybody. Everybody's like, Andy bought a $70 steak and then froze it, and then took the frozen steak.
I got a ton of messages.
And then took the frozen $70 steak and then grilled it and put it in his Traeger, nonetheless, frozen. He didn't even season it because it's frozen, and he put it on there. I'm like, oh my God,
dude, I got another one coming too.
But it's not like they hate you or anything. It's more like they're just like, I can't believe he says that on the podcast. I go, no, he's not even trying to be funny. That's really what he did. But he thinks it's normal because he looked it up on YouTube and said, somebody's like, hey, if you have a frozen steak, this is what you do. That's not normal. You could look up anything on YouTube and say, hey, I have no time. I got 5 kids. I have a frozen steak. I got it. This is the only thing we have to eat. What can I do? And they're like, okay, the best way to do it is this. But you interpret that as, this is the way to do it. Like, no.
Brody, will you look up how to grill a frozen steak? First thing that pops up, it's the best way to cook it, according to some people.
When it's frozen, when you have no other option because you have no time, and that's the only other option. That's what you would.
Well,
this is what they're telling you to do.
I got it that day, I think, and it was in the cooler.
Let it thaw out, Andy. We don't want to. I don't want to, regurgitate what we did last week because that's not fair to the people. I'm just letting you know. I think I was a little bit too much of a dick to you, but on the other hand. You say stupid things like that, and you brag about it like you're a goddamn like a Michelin star chef. Like that is the biggest joke, dude. If you had legit people at your house and you had a dinner party,
I'm a hell of a
and
cook,
you
dude.
Pulled that shit on, people would motherfucking bash you, dude. You had the big dog come over. You have somebody talking. Are you out of your mind? They would torture you for years, man. You can't. I want to torture you. I don't want them doing it.
Listen, if I was to have first off,
I need to protect you.
First off, my award-winning mashed potatoes would certainly be on the.
I believe that you're pretty good at mashed potatoes.
They would be on the menu.
But that's not a unique.
I'd have like a pesto pasta, shrimp scampi, dude.
Okay, I bet you that's pretty dang good. Yeah, I would eat that. Actually, I don't know if I'd eat.
You would eat the shrimp scampi.
I don't know. I don't trust you. I don't understand how you can be a good cook. You don't eat anything anyway. I've never seen you eat one thing.
That's not true.
I've never seen Andy eat one thing.
Well,
ever.
I don't.
No, ever. I've never seen him chew food in my life. So that's first off. Number 2, how can you be a good cook? You're never home. You never have time to do anything. You have no time. You're on your phone every fucking day. You're taking that there. You're doing that Ty, Chloe, boom, boom, boom. You're going to pick up your wife from Sven. You're doing this. You have no time to actually learn how to cook. So therefore, like, you're way behind the 8 ball. Why would I want to go to your house for a dinner party? I'd be pissing out of my ass for fucking 3 weeks.
Dude, I'm gonna make.
You're cooking me shrimp. Oh my God, shellfish. Holy, oh God.
I'll put those on the
blow my
Traeger
colon
too.
out. Like, I don't want to do that, you know?
Well, we're going to put it on the calendar.
I did invite Andy and his wife.
Did you go on the bus?
Yeah, on the boat.
On the boat?
Yeah.
When?
Saturday.
During the day?
Yeah. I got to complain again about something, guy. I'm sorry. I've done this before.
Cam went on this old person cruise.
No, it's all young people. It's all good-looking girls. Drinking wine. It's nice. It's kind of nice.
Were there kids on there?
No. Hell no. Not for kids. So anyway, I'm driving out. Kate and I just, it was our anniversary, you know, so I cruise out to this, winery area.
I said happy anniversary to you, by the way.
In a Defiance area in Missouri, which is like rolling hills. It's beautiful. You know, windy.
Twisters area.
Yeah, windy turns with no
guardrails.
No guardrails and no, shoulders. I mean, zero shoulders. Windy roads. Everybody's they're so packed on a Saturday. It was a beautiful day out. Everybody's getting out to the wineries. They're flying out there. There's only one way to get out there. Mm-hmm. There's bike trails out the wazoo.
Are you in the Jeep?
No, because it's on the highway. I don't want to take a Jeep on the highway with no doors on because I'm scared. There's no shoulders, and there's trails everywhere for bikes. These motherfucking cyclists.
There's a big event on
These
Sunday.
motherfuckers, never mind the Katy Trail, they are on this windy road with no shoulder. And it's backed up. It's backed up 50 cars. 50 cars backed up. We're already late.
They are part of the road.
They are riding 15 miles an hour with their tight little Lance Armstrong, nerdy-looking fucking outfit on. Because, of course, they got to be aerodynamic. Going 15 miles an hour with no shoulder. They backed us up so much. There's people literally risking their lives trying to pass these assholes and getting caught almost causing car accidents. So I usually don't do this.
You honk and yell?
Oh,
my God. You're one of those.
No, I'm a Hoosier.
It
happened.
That's not
I'm
good.
admitting it.
That's not good.
I didn't like what I did. And Kate gave me the look. I didn't like what I did.
What did you... Get out of the way, you...
I said something to him passing by.
Oh, dude.
I didn't like it. I didn't like myself.
I can't believe you...
I didn't like myself. But they pissed me off. I saw people in front of them literally almost getting head-on collisions, trying to get away from these two motherfuckers. So I yelled at them, and I said something.
Did they say anything back to you?
They smiled. They are just smiling at everybody. They're smiling
Think about how
I'm getting my workout in, okay? I'm more important than you.
Think about how you impacted his day, though, dude.
Fuck
You
him.
think they need to get yelled at like that?
I shouldn't have done that. I admit.
They don't.
I shouldn't have done that.
They don't deserve.
If it was a woman, I wouldn't have.
They're riding bikes, bro. You go to
No, you're right.
You go to Colorado, anywhere, man. You're gonna have to move over for the bike.
Yeah, on a windy road with no shoulders. No. That's so safe to do. It's so safe.
Driving up and down the mountain. You'll see cyclists.
Listen to me. There's so many trails out there. It's unbelievable. They go for hundreds of miles. Trails everywhere, and these dipshits are on the road. And they're not just going to they pass the Katy Trail up. They're just go 15 miles an hour. The speed limit is 55. Everything's so spread out, and they clogged up that people are literally risking their life trying to get around them. I don't understand it. I just don't understand the way they think and how dangerous that is and what they do, especially sometimes it's on a weekday and they do it. You got construction workers going to the fucking job site. But fat ass has to get on his bike. I shouldn't have yelled at them. And that was kind of a Hoosier move. And they didn't, I just, because usually that's how you jinx yourself and bad karma happens if you yell. You ever see video, a guy fuck you in the car and all of a sudden he gets in the fucking head on or something. You don't want to do that.
Ryan Reynolds no longer interested in buying the Ottawa Senators.
I saw that.
Breaking news.
Oh, don't worry. The Weeknd's up, right? The Weeknd wants to do it.
Or Snoop.
Snoop Dogg, that'd be cool. Yeah, we talked about that.
I know, but if I'm Snoop, I want to buy a team closer to where
I don't want to be in Canada.
Well, is he going to travel? Is he going to go to the games in Ottawa?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
There is an Ontario, California. I hope he's not getting confused.
Yeah, Ontario rain. Yeah, you're right.
Snoop, we know we were talking about Canada.
Hey, you're in Canada, right, Snoop? You got to go across the border, even with your jet.
He's it's kids old over there.
They might you might have some things in your pocket. Now you got to go across the border. You know what I mean? So, just traveling across the border.
You don't need to do that.
Yeah, you do. You got to go through customs.
Everything's legal in Canada, across the state, across the country.
If you take stuff, I just think it.
You just don't have to think anything because you get it all when you get there.
Okay, you bring some weed across the border in your private jet, they might jam you up with that.
Don't do it.
Okay, I'm just saying. Snoop likes his own shit. You think he's going to buy from some fucking dipshit in Canada?
Yeah.
No, he's going to bring his own stuff. I'm just saying, no big deal. It's all good. You just don't want to be like, what's his name? Paul McCartney, Japan, back in the day. Remember when the Beatles went to Japan and he had a little bit of Doja?
Oh, he got jammed nailed.
Up? Yeah, you don't fuck around in Japan, man.
They put him in jail for that.
Yeah.
For
you don't
long?
fuck around. I told you that.
Really? In Japan?
Yeah. Why do you think Tokyo?
Mm-hmm.
35 million people. It's gigantic. There's hardly any crime there. It's crazy.
In Tokyo?
Yes, they're very disciplined, man. They're disciplined people. Tokyo is a beautiful city, very expensive, but not much crime. It's crazy. Now, you got the Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll creep around, but they kind of, I think, stick to themselves.
Yeah. Well,
there's not many carjackings
to go to
and
Hong
stuff.
Kong.
Really?
I hear Hong Kong's one of the greatest vacation destinations.
All right. I wouldn't fuck with China right now. I wouldn't do it. I'd like to go to Japan.
Just don't bring anything with you, dude.
Yeah, but I like to be comfortable in a comfortable
Is
spot.
it legal over there in Asia or no?
I would not do any drugs.
Is it legal in Asia?
Fuck no. No, fuck you. We talked about this last
night. Not about Asia. Oh, Thailand we talked about.
Well, there you go. Like I wouldn't do any drugs in Asia, dude. They're there, but I wouldn't do them. They'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Can you trust that, like, I hate being out of the country anyway. I feel like you have no rights anyway. They could just come up to you and just tell you that you have something on you.
I know.
I
like being in the U.S., man. I like being in the U.S. I like Britain. I love Canada.
Oh, Brittany Griner, by the way, had a double-double in her home debut, and she led the team with 18 points in her season debut, which was, you're right, that was in Los Angeles. They did not sell out for that game. They didn't sell out for the Phoenix game either. They had 14,000 for her first home game. I think that seats 18, or maybe they had 12 in seats. No, it was very good. And she had like 26, 27 points in her home debut. Cam, she hasn't missed a beat.
They should get paid like the NBA guys.
She should.
You think the NBA guys, when they bitch about their salary, you think those fucking NBA guys are like, let's get them more money? Yeah, right.
You'll find one or
they're
two.
Like, yeah, they're playing the virtue signal role. You see Draymond Green chirping, I think it was Leslie, what's her name, on one of the podcasts. Draymond's like, she's like, here's the biggest reason we need to get paid more in the WNBA. And Draymond's like, what? We subsidize everything you fucking have.
Yeah, I know.
You're lucky you're even getting paid what you're getting paid.
He said that?
Basically.
Draymond's smart,
He doesn't give a fuck.
He does a podcast like right after his game when he loses in the playoffs.
I like him.
I kind of
like him.
He's different.
I've heard good things about him.
Dude.
Yeah, he'd be cool. He seems cool. At least he's like, you look, everybody else is like, Draymond's like, what? You need to get paid more? Based out of what? Like how? Like what are you talking about? Paid more? You need to be more entertaining. Mm-hmm. The question's like, how can you take the WNBA to the next level? And you're like, well, we need to get paid more. Leslie, she's like, what? No, that's not how it works. You need to be more entertaining. How do we make you guys more entertaining? Well, maybe you could take the baskets and lower them. But that's a fucking sexist thing to say. Not to me. Lower the baskets so you could do dunks. That'll help. You know?
Yeah.
Well, that's your sport. That's your sport. What do you think?
I'm just watching the Mercury more than anything right now. She really had her shots improved, Cam.
Andy's with his buddies at the WNBA game, courtside with 2 masks on. All you guys have 2 masks on, and you're sitting like high-fiving each other.
What are we yelling?
Go team!
Hey, before we get to Lavy.
Big Pete.
Cam's like, hi, Peter.
I don't like to be like everybody else. A nickname's a nickname. You know, he's Pete to me.
He's Lavy.
I don't know. Like, that's what maybe other people call him. Like, you pick up on that, but I want to call him what I want to call him.
He said everyone calls him Lavy.
Everybody calls you Strick. What do I call you? Motherfucking Andy. You're Andy. You're not Strick.
I'm Strick Nasty.
No, you're not. You're Andy. You're Andy. That's what you are. Strick.
Cammer.
I don't want you calling me that. That's like a locker room thing, man.
But I call...
My buddies don't call me Jan or Janny. They call me Cam.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of players who like if you really know them pretty well, like I've gotten to know them, it's second nature. I don't think... Like I don't call Al McInnes Chopper. Like that would be...
Hell no.
But I call Pronger Prongs all the time.
I do too.
I call Jamal Mayers Jammer.
Mm-hmm.
I call Braden Schenner.
Yeah, no,
a lot of times. You know what I mean?
But I don't. Lavy, I didn't know that. So you're Big Pete to me. It's all good. I like to be different, Andy.
Sometimes it just becomes their name.
Andy finds something, he like goes with the flow with everything, you know? So somebody's like, hey, let's go this way. And he's like, okay. Well, I like this to kind of sit there and just
Still can't believe that guy next to me at the soccer game had a 12 gauge.
A what?
Had a 12 gauge, the guy next to me at the soccer game.
He had a 12 gauge shotgun on him?
Well, no, he was talking about shooting a 12 gauge.
Yeah, you kill birds with a 12 gauge, dude. It's not that big of a deal. You kill ducks with one, too. But you kill home intruders, man.
I had to stop at on the street yesterday going to my daughter's soccer game because a duck and all the little ducklings were crossing the street, dude. So somebody like shoots those things.
Yeah, big time. Duck is such a good,
very popular delicatessen.
Fatty, it's good, damn good.
You ever had a turducken? Or?
Yeah, I've had everything. Andy.
Really?
I eat, I eat food. God.
Oh,
and he's like a 15-year-old fucking model. He doesn't eat anything. Doesn't look like. It kind of looks like one, but he doesn't eat anything.
Cam.
You don't eat.
If we had 100 people in here, I would say minimum 80 had never tried duck.
Okay. People you talking to, man. All your fucking in your neighborhood, they don't eat meat in your neighborhood, man. They don't eat meat,
yeah, they
dude.
do.
No, they don't. So, yeah, maybe in your neighborhood. Come out by me.
Rotisserie chicken.
Come out by me.
Tandoori chicken.
Everybody eats everything, dude.
You ever had tandoori chicken?
Had everything, Andy. Truly have.
Rabbit?
I've had,
Squirrel?
No.
Thank you.
Nope.
You got to put your foot down and draw the line somewhere.
No, I don't need a fucking squirrel.
Listen, I know I said Carolina in the second round was going to make the final. And
they might still.
They still might. You never know. This could be
both these teams are going to come back.
Series.
Dallas is coming back and Carolina, dude. And I know they're playing tonight. And this comes out tomorrow. All good. And you guys can chirp me. But I do think, and I want them to both go to Game 7. I want this to drag on.
The games have been so close.
They've been
but
close, dude.
Carolina just cannot score.
They don't have an X factor right now.
You know, I thought Gretzky made a great point on the panel with the boys talking about Svechnikov.
Yep, I know. I heard him. He didn't mispronounce the name, too.
No, sometimes like he just says very like
just quiet,
poignant.
Yep.
That you may think like, oh, that's kind of obvious, but like, no, it's not. It's like how his perspective is just so
when he talks
interesting.
Sometimes you need to talk a little louder because you got a guy like Biz is loud.
So
like,
you're
boom.
Chirping Joe Buck now.
He needs to talk.
Chirping like the TNT panels.
No. Don't you do. Hey, listen, if they don't like me, like that directly affects both of us. I'm not saying that. Hell no. TNT's awesome.
With John Cooper, they were very
awesome.
entertaining.
They were awesome. But Wayne needs to talk louder a little bit more. That's all.
He's just chill.
I know. I couldn't hear a couple things. That's all. No big deal.
Well, here's some advice to you because it won't even matter.
Get a hearing aid?
No. Here's some advice to you because it's interesting you bring that up because, you know, even if he's not talking loud, you just turn your volume up, dude, in your TV.
Okay. And then Biz talks and it blows my eardrums out. So it's like,
well, you got to find that balance.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Dude, I'm not chirping Wayne. Dude, I love him. Joe Buck, I chirped. Joe Buck, I kind of chirped a little bit.
I like Coop on there.
I love Coop on there.
I
like him more than Hank.
Who's the next coach you'd like to see on there?
I
think Chief would be good on there.
Yeah. I think Chief. Yeah.
No, Chief would be good.
I think he'd be good anywhere. Coach.
Chief.
I like Paul Maurice the way he speaks.
Oh yeah,
I do.
Well,
how about Lavy too?
I was thinking of guys that aren't currently.
Okay, I
coaching.
I like
because otherwise I'd say put that Cassidy on there and let him just like run, like have nobody else on the set, just like let him just talk the whole time.
Well, who's loud and outgoing? Because I like outgoing people. I like outgoing coaches that are on panels. Now, do I want to coach?
Jim Montgomery would be okay.
Yeah. Who?
Jared Bednar.
Yeah, Bednar. Looks like Daniel Day-Lewis. Dang right.
He's like very chill. He talks like a surfer kind of, you know.
Yeah, I like him, man. He was cool. Totally cool.
We had him on, by the way, last year. He was awesome.
I like getting coaches' perspective.
Big shout out to Craig Conroy, by the way. On
the con dog. What's up?
Although
Brody called him Craig.
like he's out of...
hey, congratulations to Craig. Everybody's like, who's
Craig? Out of the movie Friday. It's only Craig I know.
Craig.
Craig.
What's up, Craig?
I'm like... I sent a group text out. I'm like, "Hey, dude, I've never heard anyone call him Craig. Can we switch that to Connie?"
It's like Keith Kachuk getting something. He's like, congratulations to Keith. Who? You know. Brody, we love you, man. All good, baby. All good. Brody wasn't around for Craig Conroy days, dude. Like, Brody's young. He doesn't know. That's a con dog.
I know.
So Brody called him Craig.
And you know, I was thinking, too.
He doesn't even know his name's Craig.
I don't even know if Brody was with us when we did the interview, because that's the same day we did Army.
Oh, really?
When Army
Same
came
day?
in and chat with us. We did 2 interviews that day.
God.
We did it at this.
How was I?
In this guy's golf room.
God, how was I that
Amazing
day?
golf room that he let us come and like sit down. Army came and sat down for his.
Yeah.
And we did Craig Conroy. Listen, for people who have been with us long term, like you know, but like when we throughout the entire COVID period, dude, we were doing 2 a week.
Yeah, we were. In my office and then
busting like 2 a week of like
that was
pretty hardcore guests, dude.
We'd have like Eric Lindros on, and I'm like trying to text Andy because he's in his house because COVID, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm in my house, and we have no communication.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a couple pauses.
Yeah. Like some of the interviews.
I wish we could do it.
Would have been so good, like Scotty Gomez or something like that, you know.
Like just like if we were together.
Yeah.
And with because we were like doing it over.
We're in our house on the phone.
That was bad.
We're just trying to find a way.
And we had Hall of Famers on.
Yeah.
We might have to get a couple of those cats back on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we could recycle a couple more.
Yeah.
Especially some of those interviews that we weren't like succinct.
Yeah.
You know, but that's why I drive out here, man. Andy and I could do this from home, but we do feel like it's better when we're together.
Mm-hmm.
And that costs more money and we have to have a studio, but I think it's worth it for the fans. Because again, we work for all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We work for you. You let us know, man. We want to entertain the fuck out of you. That's why we do this every week. We get a fucking monster on every week for you guys. We bring the heat, man. And I might chirp a couple times. That's it.
You're being so chirpy.
I don't, when we agree with you on everything, when we say everybody's good,
hey,
everything's fine. I like cyclists.
Carolina.
I like this.
You just got to find a way to score, like a little more. They keep having goals, like getting taken back all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Both teams. So,
yeah, I know.
But Matthew Tkachuk, man, he is just he's just that guy. You don't notice him until you do, you know?
He's a game changer. You could have a solid team of just gosh dang good players, Andy. Good, solid, man, just deep good. But you got to have a game changer, like somebody that you could just, is going to do something every.
And you know this,
shift.
dude. Every team that seems to win a championship, they have some type of like thing that rallies the team together. You know,
I mean, the big boy did that. Big Walt did that when he came on Carlos' show.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, well, stuff. I'm just saying, whether it's the song Gloria, Layla. Like here in St. Louis, like other, they've had like rowdy squirrels, dude, like in other sport. Like I'm just saying, there's things, and with them like leaving the ice the way they did, it's like their thing, you know, like they just score, they just leave the ice.
Fuck out of here.
They got that swag to them that it's almost like I don't know, man. There's something separating them from everybody else all of a sudden, you know.
And I don't watch every shift of Gudis, and maybe he's turning pucks over, but. I don't necessarily see it too much, and I can look at the analytics on that. I don't know, but like having a guy on D.
Can you do that for us? Go look at the analytics for us.
Brody can look it up for me. But having a guy that's just like kind of scary, you know, just like, and he could play, and he could turn on you, and he could make a play, and he's not slow per se, but like you're always worried about him, and he's chirping a lot too, and he like will do anything to block a shot, like he just. You need to have a motherfucker. I call those guys motherfuckers. Like Gudis is a motherfucker. Like he kind of, every team needs somebody like that, man. Like a guy's just like, you're just a little worried about, you know?
Yeah.
You're worried about Matty and you're worried about Gudis.
Gudis, man.
Like he might really hurt you. And he's mean, like behind the plate, he'll like whack you.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you going to do?
And he looks like a Neanderthal.
He looks scary, yes.
Like he's the guy
I know.
that
we had him on too.
If you're hiking in the middle of a terrible snowstorm.
He might protect you.
No, you're just gonna run into him. Like he lives there.
Yeah, well, he'll save your life. He'll save your life.
He's like, what are you doing here?
Here, I'll make a fire for you.
It's like, comes swinging from like a branch.
Oh, he's out there probably with no shirt on hunting while you're trying to stay alive.
In the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah, that's the kind of dude he is.
Peter Laviolette, dude.
He's cool. I liked him a lot. Very smart guy. I like him.
Very smart.
I like his pump up speeches and shit. Like he just seems like a cool cat. A good coach I'd like to play for. Really, to be honest with you, yeah. You thinking of a story to tell, or what are you doing?
No, I'm trying to think of you would like to play for somebody like him.
Yeah, he seems totally cool. Seems like a guy that's not going to walk past you and not say hi.
There's been a lot of news about Quenneville and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Like he'll meet with Gary after the season and stuff. I think that was the hope and the plan for the family all along. But from what I understand, it's not like they've been told something official like, hey, we have a date on the calendar and we will meet on this specific date. I think they're just hoping, hey, when the season's over, they're going to be able to get together. But by that time, I don't know what jobs are going to be available,
Well, whatever happens, we'll bring it up if something big happens, Bring it up.
Peter Laviolette, Stanley Cup winner in Carolina, very cool team. We've had a lot of pieces from that
We have.
Stanley Cup winning team on too, man. All really good guys. So, and he's done his thing, man, going to 3 Stanley Cup finals, 3 different teams in Philly and obviously in Nashville too, man. So
he's traveled a lot.
And he's going to get another job here very soon. He's just one of those guys,
Yes,
man. He just comes in kind of fixes you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a fixer.
Get you going.
Turns it around.
But he's not. I think he answered it pretty well, Cam. He said the bar is so high sometimes that it's almost too high. So, if you don't win, getting to the second round isn't good enough. Some organizations, they celebrate when you get to the second round.
Yeah, they do.
Other organizations, they fire you for only getting to the second round. All right, so let's get to Peter Laviolette. Brought to you by Hair Club Cab and hairclub.com. Get that pill and get it today, Cam. You need to start taking that pill. When are you going to start taking that?
Here pretty soon.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm gonna take it pretty soon. So.
And what are they saying in terms of when you can see the...
Oh, just start immediately,
really
a week or two, it'll start growing back and start getting a little thicker and stuff like that. So
okay.
It's cool, yeah. So check it out.
Yeah.
And they got other options too. They got payment plans. They got it all. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If you are debating on it, get it done earlier.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, it's cheaper and you get on it quicker. And then, once you get on it, the hair is going to grow back and it's just a good feeling.
Okay.
And when you're young, that's your days to look good. You know?
Yeah.
That's when you're wheeling girls and find the love of your life, your confidence in work, walking into a boardroom and being confident in who you are instead of worrying about the bald spot in your front or back or both or whatever. Mm-hmm. Get it done. Just get it done. Go do your research on it.
That's the hardest thing.
So you just walk in the door. Who gives a fuck?
If you need to FaceTime us when you walk in there,
dude,
Cam would be
if
happy
you want to fucking message me,
can you essentially hold my hand when I walk in, or just ask you questions?
Dude, I got my shit open on every fucking play. I got 2 Facebook accounts. I got Twitter. We got Instagram. We got Cam Strick. Message me about questions and I'll answer them. Mm-hmm. It's easy.
About the power play and stuff like that.
No, I'm not going to break down a power play. And Andy, no, you're not either. So it is. But about the hair thing, just talk to me, man. Or about anything. They're all open. Hair Club, baby.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, exactly.
Always open. Yeah. Hair Club, hairclub.com. Again, locations all over North America, Cam, including Canada.
They're everywhere. Yep.
Toronto and Montreal and
they're
Vancouver.
Everywhere. Yep.
So check it out today. First Form and firstform.com. I'm going in for a workout very, very soon.
We both are.
Yes, we are.
I know.
We're going to shoot some content over there.
Damn right. I love going in there, man.
Mm-hmm. What's the most consistent thing you're doing right now with
push-ups?
First Form.
Oh, as far as working out?
Mm-hmm. No,
here's what I do.
Products.
So Kate, we have First Form, the protein, and a little bit of pre-workout mix.
Okay.
So Kate will get all this frozen fruit and orange juice and stuff like that, put it in a smoothie, take the protein, dump it in there, take a little energy, put that mug in there, shake it up, put it in the First Form. Remember you sent Nick First Form?
Dude.
That thing stays cold.
There's this mug, dude.
It stays cold for fucking years. It was in my hot car, and I opened it up. It's still ice.
You put alcohol in that thing too?
In the morning?
No, I didn't know what this is. A morning.
This is
shake.
Kate makes it the night before. So when I get up at 4:30, I sip that thing. My long 45-minute drive into work.
Get out of here!
I'll sip that, and it coats my stomach.
Wow!
Instead of eating any, so I sip that. It's like a thick,
and it's cold as can be.
It's cold. And it coats your stomach, and it brings you energy.
It's the best mug ever.
Yeah, and the protein and everything too. So it just makes you in the morning. It's hard to eat, so having a protein shake, man.
Can I recommend something? Mm-hmm. I would not put orange juice in your smoothie,
or whatever she does. I don't know.
I would do like a almond milk or an oat milk or coconut milk.
Jeez, Andy, you fucking fancy lad. I don't give a fuck. Good God.
I'm just saying.
Dirty ass shit.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna drink orange juice, dude. Like I don't give a fuck.
The sugar, you don't need that sugar.
Whatever.
You don't need that sugar.
Fruit. There's sugar and fruit.
Yeah, I know.
Like what do you want me to do? Sugar and everything.
That's why too much fruit isn't always good for you. You know that? Like they say certain fruits.
Too much of anything isn't good for you.
They say certain fruits are like if you just
too much water is not good.
If you pound grapes or like pineapple, dude, I hear it's not like very good for you.
Yeah, man, I got other fucking worries, dude. Okay.
Then taking pineapple.
No shit. Eating too much fruit? Are you out of your goddamn mind? You think Kate's like, what's the biggest worries of Cam? You think she's like, he eats too much fruit. That's not it. So you know. Okay. Good God.
Firstform.com/Cam Strick. That is our landing page. That's where you go. That's our link. So order everything off of that link. We are very appreciative.
Please do.
Dude, I'm all over these bars right now. You know that. The peanut butter lovers are my favorite. The chocolate mint are incredible. All of them, man. I put them in the microwave, actually. I melt them down a little bit with a banana, dude. It's incredible.
Yeah, damn right. There's so many options.
When I break my fast after 12 noon. Yeah. That's probably what I'll go with today. Okay?
No, you're good. No, you need to get skinnier. You're right. And dwindle away.
Firstform.com, baby. Firstform.com/Cam Strick. Summer Smash is coming up.
Yeah, we're going to that.
I know.
Yeah, baby. I don't know what to wear.
We
got invited to the big First Form like Summer Smash.
Yeah.
And it's like a big deal. Like there's like a celebrities and
I got Cam in there.
I know. Yeah, Andy got me in. But I feel like everybody's going to look like a cowboy.
They're going to be like
me and you're going to look like
dude.
idiots. I think.
You know, like how my kid had like a Halloween costume. It was like a fake muscle man or something. I may wear that under my
You're going to. Please do.
Just to make me.
I know. Good God.
The results are real, people.
They are. 100%.
Check them out.
First Form.
Check it out today. Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com, Cam. If you are one of those that have been dealing with a little bit of a struggle, had some issues, and your credit score is not where you want it to be.
Don't matter. They'll take care of you.
Yes, they will.
They'll take care of you. They'll find a way. They'll find a way to make it work.
That is a great slogan for them. Right. They will find a way.
They'll find a way.
At Bellman, you find no what?
Swinging dicks. None of that bullshit. Swinging their dick around.
But they will give you sushi and flavored water with electrolytes.
Yeah, man. But there's not that weirdo fucking swinging dick Hoosier coming out flirting with your wife, bragging about how he beat you up in high school. I didn't even go to high school with you.
That's the worst kind.
Swinging her dick around. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Idiot boy.
Bellman
not at Bellman. Not at Bellman, dude. They got classy people.
Where's Bellman located?
Try. They got classy people there. We love all of them.
Say hi to Danny Boy.
Danny Boy, what up, homie? He ain't no swinging dick.
No, he's not. Say hi to Kenny.
Kenny, what it do?
Say hi to Dale.
Dale, tell your brother I said hey.
These guys are the absolute best. SparksandSparks.com, SPARX. Use that promo code Cam and Strick. It's going to save you more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Don't go to the hockey shop where Seth is waiting. He's standing by, hardly awake. He hadn't slept. He's been drinking Mountain Dew Red all night long.
He's got animal bones in his fucking closet, homie.
It's just terrible.
He's killing the kitty cats in the neighborhood, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And then he's sharpening your skates.
There's a couple things else he's doing.
Well, I don't even want to know
it's
about
getting weird. No, it's getting to be.
Really?
It's concerning.
Who's
a lot of
telling
people.
you all this stuff?
I just hear about it. This kid's a goddamn weirdo. Mm-hmm. He's killing animals and sniffing around.
And one thing he'll do, Cam, he'll mess up the skates too. That's
fuck your skates. Right? You're gonna trust this guy? He's killing kitty cats. He's gonna sharpen your skates the next day. Fucking weirdo. Sneaking in the houses, stealing panties. This guy's a fucking joke. He's a joke.
Is that what you were alluding to?
No, he's doing a little bit more than that.
Really?
Oh,
can we just leave it there?
We'll leave it there for now, but trust me, next week it's going to get even worse.
Oh, my God.
Because this son of a bitch, he's fucking nuts.
Couldn't even imagine.
He's sharpening fucking your kid's skates, and he's going to fall into the boards 100 miles an hour. He's a dipshit boy.
It gets worse than that?
It gets worse. You'll see.
Man, get a Sparks and get one today. SPARX. Use that promo code Cam and Strick. Again, take it under your own roof. Sharpen your, have control of your skates.
Have control of your
Don't ruin your kid's season, the game, the weekend, the tournament.
Yeah, you don't have to drive somewhere and have Seth do it, man. Just do it yourself. It's easy, man.
Yeah, don't go see Seth. All right, let's get to Peter Laviolette. Very smart guy, and he's a winner, man. And he's also on the radar of a number of teams right now in the NHL. We talk about all of that and much, much more on this edition of the Cam and Strick Podcast. Hairclub.com, baby.
Oh, you're damn right.
Go to our landing page today, hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. Regrow, restore, and replace that hair.
Don't wait.
Now to the interview.
Hello.
Peter.
Hey, Pete.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
Does anybody call you Peter? Or does everybody in your life call you Lavy? Is that what it is? No, nobody calls you Peter.
I think everybody in the hockey world calls me Lavy.
I know. Cam's like, hey,
I'm gonna call you Pete.
Peter.
I like to be different. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm just down in Florida. We live south of Tampa on Longboat Key. It's an island just outside of Sarasota. There's a strip of islands. Anna Maria, Longboat Key, Lido Key, Siesta Key, and then it gets down towards Naples with, a couple of the islands down there. But my wife vacationed here when she was 12 years old with her family, and we got married, and she took me down here once, fell in love with it, got tired of moving my license and changing my license plates and voting in different states, and we just decided to become Florida residents. So we've been here since 2003.
You and many others.
And there's no state taxes.
Yeah, man. A lot of people moving down.
Yeah, unfortunately, it goes to where you're at. But I have been fortunate, a couple times when I've been let go. I've been able to move down here and still get paid, and then the state tax you get back. But it's when you're minus the state tax, it's pretty good. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah. Hey, we just hit record and we just go. Hey, we just have conversation like this. But hey, while you're on that topic, do you think there's any coincidence that 3 of the 4 teams left play in cities where there's no state taxes? Has that become an advantage for teams now, Peter?
You're saying all the good players go to the States with no taxes? Yeah,
the ones want to save money.
Smart.
Just the free agents.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of Florida, and so I can see why players choose to go down to Florida, to Tampa, even to Dallas, and just playing in warm cities. I'm just a fan of that. Some people aren't. Some people want that. That feel of the winter in hockey and a sport, and it's, where there's snow and the changes of the seasons. And I grew up in Massachusetts, so I had plenty of that. But I don't know, down here on Florida, especially on the west coast of Florida, I'm just a big fan of it. The beaches and the color of the water and the sunsets, and there's golf, there's fishing, and it's just a really, really great place to live. So we've been down here for a long time. We'll definitely retire down here. We go back up to Massachusetts and New Hampshire area to see our family and spend a little bit of time up there, but this is definitely home for us. So could be other people are thinking the same way too. So I don't know.
Yeah, Cam. See, some people like gray skies, like gray weather, cold weather, no sun.
I like Christmas stuff. No, I like to change the seasons, but hey, once you get older, it's just an easier way of life. Now, hey, are you a fisherman? Do you have a boat? What do you do? Because navigating the ocean is not easy.
Yeah, so we do have a boat. We've had a boat down here for a while, and then I got a smaller boat to get my boys. They were 17, 18, and they were itching to get out, and our boat was a little too big, so we ended up going down a size. We got a really nice 19-foot center console for them to learn, because the waters down here are tricky. Mm-hmm. It's only in Sarasota Bay, which it probably spans from the mainland to the island. It probably spans, I don't know, maybe 2 miles across to get there at the widest part. But there's places out in the middle where on low tide you can see a bird just standing in the sand. And so once the water comes up and you can't see the sand anymore, you got to know where you're at and how deep the water is. So you get, if you don't know your way around, you can get pushed up on sandbars quickly. And so this was a great boat for them to learn. And since then we moved back up, and we're in it's a 24-foot Boston Whaler, and it's got a little half tower on top. And so if you wanted to go tarpon fishing or whatever, and so the boys are into fishing big time. When I come down, I do a little bit of fishing as well. The tarpon are actually running right now around Longboat Key. They're here from May to mid-July, so that's pretty cool. You see them from the beach, and you see people fishing for them all the time and try to hook into one. I would love to try to hook into one this summer.
Well, I know you've followed Paul Maurice in the past or other jobs, but I don't think the Florida job's going to be open anytime soon, Peter. For you.
They're doing a great job, and I was really happy for Bob too. I mean, I coached Bob Brofsky back in Philadelphia when he was a rookie, and he was just such a great kid. And at a young age, he was a really good pro, and he just learned and honed his craft. And I remember his first year, he wasn't real good with moving the puck and handling the puck on dumps and rims and then getting it and moving it to a defenseman or rimming it up the wall. He went home that summer, and he spent so much time. He came back, and he wasn't a Marty Brodeur, but he was way better at what he was doing just moving the puck. And so just a real attention to detail with regard to his craft, but a really good person as well. And so I'm happy to see him. It wasn't, there were some ups and downs, I think, in the year for him this year, but you look at him like I was watching last night, and they cut to him after he makes a save, and he's just as cool and focused as can be right now in the net. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big part of why, they're still moving on, why they were able to get past Boston, why they were able to get past Toronto and win a game like last night. And I love what Paul Maurice did too, because they, I don't think he started the series. I think they went back and forth with it, but it got to like the elimination games, and they're like, "Who's your goalie? Who's your goalie?" And he says, "My goalie's Bob. Mm-hmm. This is why he's here. He's here for this reason right now." And Bob answered it, and he's been playing really well for him.
Yeah, that's why you pay him $10 million.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, for these type of moments.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because
that's exactly right. And so and he delivered. But I mean, there's also the quality of him too, right? He's got 2 Vezas, and
mm-hmm.
he's had a great career. And like anybody, there's always some ups and downs inside your career. And so he's kind of proved the test of time, and this would be a really big step for him, and a really big notch in his belt to be able to have the playoffs that he's having right now.
Hey, listen, at the time we're doing this, it's the morning after that 4 overtime game, man. And like, what's the longest game you've coached, and what's going on with the coaches, like in between, all the overtime periods? Like, how much are you truly able to adjust? Are you just kind of just hanging on and hoping like a bounce goes your way? Like, how do you coach in those situations?
So I think 3 is the furthest I've got. I got there in the American Hockey League with 3, and also in the National Hockey League. I don't think I've got to 4, but I can't remember for sure. But I know I've gotten to 3 overtimes. I want to say Chicago. In Chicago, we got to 3 overtimes with Nashville. Mm. But for me, I'm always in at the 10-minute mark of a period. Like after the first period's over, going at the 10, and there's coaching that goes on. It can be positive, it can be constructive, it can be whatever. It can be a pump up or a kick in the tail or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. The second period, the same thing. Third period, you're getting ready to go out and win a hockey game, you hope. The first overtime, you're still in there. And then once you get into like that third overtime, you're heading out for the third overtime, you might mention one thing, but it's more about making sure that you're doing the right things. You know what I mean? Like the puck gets out, the puck gets in. You put the puck in safe areas, that your line changes are good, that you make sure you're detailed with your stick so that you don't draw a stupid penalty that could cause something to go wrong on a penalty kill or a power play for the other team. And so it's more about just, you change it from systematic stuff. Not always. There's things that still, I think, you can coach, but it's just simple reminders about, hey, keep these 3 or 4 things in mind when we're doing it. So, I mean, the last thing you want to do in triple overtime is get caught on a line change, and then and have the game end that way.
Mm-hmm. Or a penalty.
Yeah, because Peter, listen, I would think a challenge would be, because now you got guys playing up into the high 30s, even the 40s. Yeah. So you got to use your bench, and like one of the scariest things I would think as a coach is like you don't want to get scored on with the wrong guys on the ice, right? Like, but you got to use all your players.
You do at that point, and that's where I think you got to trust your players are there. But I do think too that some teams run a little bit deeper with depth. Most teams, when they get down to the final 4, have most of the time they prepared themselves with regard to depth, mm-hmm. and they have the players that they want, that they feel can win a playoff series or win a championship. And even if somebody gets hurt, they probably still have 1 or 2 in the hopper ready to go. And so you're right. You definitely need to get the mileage out of your bench, and especially when it flips into that second overtime, right? Even if you were still pressing in that first overtime and you might have been running hard with 2 defensemen, or you might have been running hard with your top line, and you look at their minutes after the first overtime, that's maybe when you flatten it out, and if you're seeing that fatigue. But you got to think that other team is dealing with it too. So I didn't make it. Did you guys make it to the end?
Andy did. Andy doesn't miss a beat. I was long gone.
Cam, you didn't make it?
Oh man, I gotta get up early. I gotta get up at 4:30 in the morning. So I can't do that stuff. I'm gone by 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
I'm like a 90-year-old.
It was, hey, but Peter, like, Listen, you get like the longer you get into these overtimes, like it's intense because everyone's locked in because you know the next goal is going to end it. But it's not like it's just punt and change, hockey. And maybe you're stuck defending for a little bit, but then you get to the red line, get it in, and change. That's what the game becomes.
It's almost like I said, the messaging, right? You were asking me the messaging. What's the messaging? You're probably seeing what the messaging is, and because guys are fatigued, they're not at their top place that they could be. Physically, they're not at their top place that they could be. And so for me then goes to, okay, it's almost like volleying in tennis, right? And waiting for the other person to make a mistake. Yeah. It's not like you go for the kill shot time and time and time again. Just get it back into play. And then eventually, maybe your opposition will make a mistake where all of a sudden you get a chance to capitalize. And I watched a goal last night. Like, it was a quick little turnover on the boards, and then it's on Tkachuk's stick for 2 seconds, and it's in the back of the net, and it's game over.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Wait for that mistake.
It's crazy. Hey, listen, so, Cam, this guy was captain of Team USA back in the day.
I got that in my notes, Andy.
Like, what kind of player were you, Peter? Like, I know, obviously, you played some games in the NHL as well, but, like, what kind of player were you? And did you always, like, see this for your future? Were you like, hey, I want to get into coaching. This is a great way to stick into the game. And what made you think you could do it?
So, when I came from a Division III college, and so hockey was never really in the cards. Like, somebody who gets drafted, or they're coming out of Division I and they're up for the Hobie Baker or whatever it might be. Like, I went to Westfield State College in Massachusetts in Division III, not a hockey power by any stretch of the imagination. But by the time I left Westfield, the game had kind of found my blood, and I was just dying to play more, wanted to do more, and I got an opportunity to go to a tryout for the Minnesota North Stars, and I was playing in a lot of working out. I was working because I needed to, make money in the summer. I was working with my dad. I was going after work and working out, and then I was playing in 3 or 4 summer leagues that night. Through the course of the week, on different nights, I would play in 3 or 4 leagues, and I got an opportunity to go to the Minnesota North Stars camp and try out. And at that point, I signed an IHL contract, and at that time, the AHL was ahead of the IHL, so it was NHL, AHL, IHL in that descending order. And so it was like the East Coast Hockey League right now. And so basically I got signed to that type of a contract and had my first year, and it was a year where you're doing anything to try and prove yourself. And so I think my first year I had 30 points in like 160 minutes or something like that. And so fought a little bit of offense, tried to play good defense, and ended up getting signed by the New York Rangers to a 3-year contract. So that's kind of how it started. Played 11 years in the minors, and just kind of a journeyman in the minors, and a couple of Olympic teams I got fortunate enough to play on, and I got 12 games with the New York Rangers. So now that was it. When my last year I was in Providence playing, Bobby Francis came in. My last 2 years, Bobby Francis came in as the coach, and I was one of the captains his first year there, and he didn't have an assistant coach. He just did it by himself. Back when staffs were a lot thinner, even in the minor leagues. And the second year, we were going into it, and it was in the summer, and he said, "Hey, do you have any thought about being player assistant coach?" And I said, "I don't even know what that means." And he said, "Well, do you have a passion for coaching?" And I said, I don't even have the answer to that. Like, I don't know. I love coming to the rink. I love the game. I love the team environment. I love competing and all that stuff." And he said, "Well, why don't you try it?" And so I did. And so the first half of the year, I played a ton because we lost a lot of defensemen up to Boston. And so I found myself playing a lot more than coaching. And it was probably just after Thanksgiving that I put a crack on the outside bone down by my ankle, and I had to come out of play. And at that time, we got a ton of defensemen back from Boston. So the second half of that season, I spent a lot more time in the coach's office and just learning and watching Bobby and learning about systems, talking about systems, and really didn't know a lot about coaching or systems or how to implement things, or I really didn't know much about anything. And so that little half year helped me just getting eyes on Bobby Francis. And the following year, he ended up going up to Pat Burns' staff job became available in Providence, and I really wanted to interview for that head coaching job, but I only had the half year as a player assistant coach in the office. And they offered me assistant coach, but I knew I wanted to be a head coach. And so I said no, and I left, and I put my resume down in Wheeling, and that's kind of how I got into coaching. Like my first year was a head coach in Wheeling, West Virginia, and it's pretty cool. My oldest son, Peter, he's 25. He was born there, and so I've got a West Virginian in my family, and he just graduated from a Division III college. And he ended up he came to our development camp, he came to our rookie camp, he came to our big camp, and they were going to be pretty loaded up in South Carolina in the East Coast Hockey League, and so he ended up signing a contract in Wheeling. So it's pretty cool that, they got a player on their roster that was born in Wheeling, West Virginia, and the fans have just
hometown. They're the Wheeling.
They kind of announce it like that. It's funny, like he loves it there. I mean, he loves Wheeling, and he goes out and he has a goal and he has a fight and he has a hit and then whatever, and he gets first star of the game, and they call him out. And he's like, Wheeling, West Virginia's own. Like they bring him out as the native son. So
yeah.
He thinks it's pretty cool.
It's the Wheeling Nailers, Cam.
What do you do in Wheeling? You know what I mean? Like, is there?
So he loves to hunt.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a gentleman that's a big fan. He's got 300 acres, and he allows Peter to go on his property and hunt. And so he had to work his way in. And when he first got there, as you know, like there's a lot of players that get sent down. There's this trickle down effect from the NHL to the AHL to the East Coast Hockey League. So players start trickling down, and he was on an East Coast League contract, and so he was on the IR for 2 weeks, and so he couldn't play in the games because they just didn't have room for him at the start. By the end of the year, he was playing all the time, but at the beginning, he was a rookie, and he had to bide his time and do the right things and practice hard. But he found himself, at noontime with nothing to do, and so he went out and he hunted a lot.
What's he hunting? What is he hunting?
He got his first buck.
Oh yeah.
And
he doesn't know a damn thing about hunting. Just so you know, he's going to act like he does. But
I don't either. I'm not a big hunter, but he loves it. He loves it.
Oh yeah, we got to go out there and do a little hunting out there. And hey, listen, you know what? That it's great that he's able to still play and do his thing and all
absolutely.
that. Didn't you? Were you with Billy Armstrong in Providence back in the day?
Oh, Big Billy.
So Army and I played together. We're pretty good friends, and he was when I went to Wheeling. One of the reasons I got the job in Wheeling is because there was a coach in Wheeling that did interview for the job in Providence, and when he left Wheeling, that left the opening in Wheeling, and I put my resume in there. So I ended up getting that job. And then it was just a year later where they made a coaching change in Providence. It didn't work. They made a coaching change, and so I ended up now going back there. And the year that I was in Wheeling, Billy Armstrong was the captain of that team, and they ended up making a coaching change at the end of that year. And I came back, and then Army came on as my assistant coach. So just to show you, I mean, we were in Providence. We crushed it that year. I mean, we had 120 points.
Oh.
I think I think we had 50 points the year before. It was a 70-point turnaround.
Wow.
We won the Calder Cup. But I was thinking back to it, and I'm looking at me with 1 year head coaching experience, and I'm looking at Army with 0 coaching experience. I was the head coach, and he was the assistant coach. But we crushed it. I mean, we built something that was really, really strong there. It was really cool, and an unbelievable run with those players that were there. They played so great. They became a team, and we were good, and ended up winning the championship. So I ended up leaving after 2 years there. And then Army took over for a little bit as head coach, and then he ended up going off and getting into scouting, and I think he was head amateur scout for the Blues, then eventually became GM. I mean, he took the right path. I mean, he worked hard. He worked hard to get to where he is, and I think he's done a great job. He's pulled in a lot of assets for that organization. And I do think he's a really good evaluator of talent too. And so if he is getting the players that he wants, and he's getting lots of them because of the way he's doing things and the contracts he's taken in for draft picks, and he's building something there. I think that team could be something in 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, well, the Wheeling Nailers probably had more fans in attendance than the Coyotes last year.
I know. It sucks for those guys. It does.
It does. But I feel bad for the players and everybody over there with everything going on.
I was disappointed. I mean, I went out there for the first time to Tempe, and I was really disappointed with the vote and the way it came back.
Yeah.
Just because I thought Tempe was awesome. I was only there for a couple of days, and it was my first time being there. And I thought it was just a great spot to have an NHL team, and there was lots of activity. It was a kind of a college town.
Yep.
I thought it was really good. And when I saw that vote 2 days ago, I texted them right away, and I'm like, oh.
And it's weird with that vote too. I think it was just like a small portion of people voted, and you're trying to you're building a building for.
I talked to some
mass
players;
people.
they're like completely blindsided. Nobody expected this not to pass. I think like the early indication, like the early polls, were like that it was going to pass like overwhelmingly. The players were like, "Oh my god, like what is going on?" You know.
And Arizona is such a great sports market too. Like it's a great sports town, great colleges. They love sports out there. You're going to have a brand new complex, more than just a rink, in Tempe that's going to create and generate so much money.
Yep.
It would have been a home run. Like I don't know all the details of it and all that. All I know is that I would have loved to have gone to Tempe as a visiting team, just to, the different cities you go to, and you're like, there's things to do, and you can go out, and there's nightlife and restaurants. And
oh God!
Sometimes when you make those trips too, if you're an East Coast team, like you end up staying there for a few days.
No. And we used to go to Scottsdale a lot of the younger guys.
If there was
a
reason
for that.
Yeah. After the game.
Yeah.
After the game, that is.
Hey, before we get into some hockey stuff, it's pretty interesting. Cam will like this too. I mean, I'm reading your wedding reception. Like there was a crazy storm that rolled through, and like 25 people got struck by lightning. Like, is that true?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, can you break?
True.
We like talking weather on here, Peter.
We love weather.
So it was a beautiful June day. The wedding was at my wife's house. She had this beautiful property, and we put up tents in the backyard. There's probably 200 people there, and lots of players from like the Providence Bruins, like Billy Armstrong was there. Rob Tallis was there. It was just some Gila Rose was there. So just some players that I had played with. They were at the wedding. Kristen's actually from Norfolk, Mass, and she's friends with the Hasselbecks.
Okay.
And so, like Matt Hasselbeck and his wife were at the wedding.
The quarterback.
And so it's a really nice day. It's kind of humid, and like if you're from New England and things get too humid, it can turn to a really powerful thunderstorm, lightning storm quickly. Middle of the day, like zaps down the ground and it jolts you, like that something hits you. And so anyway, it rolled right over us and quickly. And so we were just enjoying the day, and all of a sudden things changed within like 15 minutes, and there's 250 people in her backyard. There's really nowhere for anybody to go. It started pouring like you can't even imagine it. The tents worked, and we didn't necessarily get rain pelted on us, but I mean, it came down so hard for a half hour that once it rolled down the roof and down the sides, there was nowhere for it to go. And so it just made this mud bowl puddle underneath. And so everybody is sitting in metal folding chairs in the water. Oh. And so the lightning starts to happen. And so the band shuts down, everything shuts down. And, a lightning bolt hit the property, and I think it hit like a well or something like that. And it came through so nobody got directly hit. It was not like somebody came down and took a lightning bolt off the head, but when it went spidering through the water, it ended up going up somebody's leg and then out their hand. Do you know what I mean? Like It was up their leg and then their hand went flying to the right. You could have punched somebody in the jaw that was sitting next to you to the right. And so 20 people ended up inside the house laying down. By chance, we had 5 nurses at the wedding. So the 5 nurses are in there taking vital signs and making sure everybody's okay. The ambulances, there's 5, 6 ambulances, and then 5 more had to come. The fire trucks were there, and the whole wedding just kind of shut down for a little bit. So everybody was good. Only one person didn't come back. They were fine, but the 19 others, there's 20 people that got hit. 19 others got released from the hospital. came back and we went until 2 a.m. Things dried up a little bit. Everybody's a little bit muddy.
Nice.
Everybody's a little bit shaken, but nothing that a little alcohol can't fix.
Hey, the bar's open, guys.
I got struck by lightning. Let's booze.
Everybody okay? The bar's open.
The bar's open.
And everybody's fine. Once you say that, everybody gets back up.
Yeah.
So, man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
hey,
that is
how do you handle like moving from city to city to city?
Yeah.
Like first off, I mean, it's nice you get to see different parts of the country and all that, but like packing up all your stuff, like do you literally take everything you have, just like any regular person, just pack up their stuff and then you go to a new house and unpack like everybody else?
I am so sick of this.
Oh God.
And so I've obviously done it a lot. I've coached a lot. I've been hired a lot, but I've been, you get fired a lot too, or you're moving up, or you're moving on, you're going to the next level, or your contract expires and you're going to go somewhere else. And so with kids and growing up, you just collect so much stuff and it ends up being a lot that comes with you. Like everybody has their stuff, like the kids have their stuff, you have your stuff. My wife's a big decorator when it comes to holidays and stuff like that. So there's lots of different holiday stuff that she decorates with, and I'm looking at it, and the truck keeps getting bigger and bigger after year, and it's hard. And so I hate it, but I will say this too. I think we've become really good at it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, especially my wife. Like I think she's an unbelievable at being able to go into a house, a room, and look at it and just attack it. And then obviously we get help too. There's moving companies that come in, but you need to organize. When you're moving after you've been somewhere for 6 years, you got to weed stuff out. You got to go through everything. You got to figure out what's still relevant in your life and what's not, what you're keeping, what you're taking with you. And then it's just a lot of work. And so again, we just moved out of Arlington, Virginia. And when the season was over, we packed up. It probably took us, to have it like painted and landscaped and emptied and ready to show on the market, it probably took us like 2 weeks. So,
how many houses do you own now?
I'm just down in Florida right now. Well, I own that one. That one's on the market, and I'm down in Florida. So this is where we'll end up. We have a family house in New Hampshire that's really nice. It's on Lake Waukee.
Oh yeah.
And so our family bought that back in 2006, I think, 2006, 2007. We knocked it down. It was beautiful, little lakefront piece of land in Meredith, New Hampshire. Meredith's beautiful, and we built it's just a 2,000 square foot cape.
You got a little bit of both, Pete.
That's perfect.
You're down in Florida. You go up there and see all the the
Peter,
wilderness.
they put all your houses on the internet anyway. Everybody knows when you're buying or selling a house.
I know they do.
I knew that answer.
Just leave me out of it.
I know all your houses. I can tell you what your house looks like right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you that house has been awesome because both my boys went to Proctor University in New Hampshire. Proctor Academy. So they wanted to play hockey, and moving around and stuff like that. We wanted them to get through 4 years of high school and play hockey, and so they went to Proctor Academy, which was awesome. It's in Andover, New Hampshire, and so the New Hampshire house provided a location for me if I got a chance to go up and see him, or for my wife to go up and see him, or even my mom and dad who still live in Massachusetts. Like they've been great with my kids, like showing up at their events because I can't be there very often, and my wife tries to be there, but when we can't, my parents have kind of really picked up the slack, and it provided a place to go. And then my son went to Plymouth State in Plymouth, New Hampshire, which is like 20 minutes away, and so the house really served a good purpose. Now my daughter's at Boston College. She's going to be a senior next year, and so we've been able, when we go up there in late August, we go and we get the kids out into school, or when we take them out of school in May, she's going back in in August at the end of this summer. We'll go up, we'll spend a week at the lake and see family and stuff like that. So more of a family get together place. And it's just really helped, I think, with the kids being our family and our kids still being up north.
Listen,
beautiful, Andy.
Head coaches in the NHL, like why do we see so much turnover? Why do you think it's so hard for a coach to really last in one place for a long period of time? And we see the shelf life of coaches across the board. I mean, every offseason, I mean, there's so many, job openings.
Yeah. Well, one, it might not go well, right? Two, it could go really well. But if it doesn't continue to go really well, then something, there's this assumption that something must be wrong. once you've taken a team and taken it to the top, and you've either won or you've gotten to the finals or you've pushed to the semifinals and your team's finding success, at some point, finishing second in the division and losing in the first round, once you've kind of set that bar and set that standard, once you finish second in your division and you lose in the first round, that's not acceptable anymore. And there always has to be a reason why or an answer why it ended that way. And oftentimes it's there's a view there's a look at the coach and the job that he did, and it ends up I think just making a lot of coaches vulnerable in that situation. So I think there's different reasons that it happened. And so, it's happened a lot of different ways for me. I've been hired a lot, but I've been fired a lot. In this situation in Washington, my contract was up, and my wife and I just decided we were going to come home to Florida. And so, I think different reasons for that happening. So, it is what it is. It used to, when you have kids, I think it bothered me a little bit more because it's a major change for your family. Like, your wife now has to go and reestablish herself. Your kids are going to make new friends. They're going into new school systems. And that's a lot for kids. I mean, if you do it once, it's not a big deal. But like my oldest son, he probably had to move 6 times.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of new friends, a lot of new people that he's got to make. And I think in the end, it's really served them well. I think that all my kids are like really well socially rounded. It's easy for them to go into a new hockey team in a new city and come out with 4 good friends. Like they know how to do that now. And so while it seems traumatizing for them at the time, in the end, I think it served them well. So it's just it doesn't bother me as much anymore because my kids are gone, and so I'm going in blazing to try and do my part to try and help a team win a championship. Yeah. And somebody says the time's up, and that's it. The time's up.
And sometimes it's good to, if there's social butterflies like that, you can meet so many different people in some of these cities, and who knows, man. Maybe in a couple of years he'll team up with one of those guys he met and own a company and make a ton of money. So
there's no question that they have friends from all over. The one year we were in North Carolina and we got let go halfway through the year, and so we ended up staying there. And so the kids, this was like in a 5th year. So the kids they're from age they started there at 8 and now they're 13. And so that's when you really make some friends, like late elementary and into junior high for kids, and they want to be in the neighborhood and they want to play, tag, and they want to play, the games that they play in the yard. They want to be in the pool. They want to ride their bikes. They want to do the summer thing, school's out. And we made the decision that we were going to move and take them down to Florida, and we were going to put them in, because I didn't get a job that summer. We were going to put them in school down here on the island. And I mean, they did not, they were against that. It was kind of ruining their summer. It was like another change. But because we did that, they now have friends in Florida, from where we live on Longboat Key, that are their best friends. And and now when they come down here, now they have friends. And so, what seemed devastating at the time, now for them was kind of a blessing, because they know a lot of people in this area where we didn't grow up here. They didn't grow up here. They only summered here for like 30 days, So it's worked out really good.
Hey, listen, I want to talk to you about the incident that happened with Philly, man, and Pittsburgh.
Oh, Joey?
At the end of the game, and Joey Vitale hits
He's
Danny.
Our buddy.
Oh yeah, we've had Danny Briere on here and like other. Like, you go back and watch that video, and like Craig Berube of all people was the guy like trying to hold you back, who it's hilarious, and now he's been here. It's funny, man. But what like, you watch that video. Like, what are you thinking? Like, are you still just as angry today as you were then, or are you looking at it and be like, "Wow, man, I can't believe I got that worked up over it"?
No. I'll tell you. So it was the game was over. It was late, and one line had just come off the ice, and it might have been my 4th line. They just came off the ice, and I didn't want to. Maybe I was thinking about staying away the first line. And Wayne Simmons had a nasty sutures in his mouth maybe from getting hit with a stick or a puck and whatever. And so you're kind of thinking about who you're putting out on the ice. And so Danny ended up out there, and the game was over, and somebody lined him up in the neutral zone, and it just caught me the wrong way. It was, Aaron Asham, I love him. I had him in Philly. I mean, I love the kid. He was out there, and they had some guys out there that could do some damage, right? And so somebody stepped up on Danny and took a piece of him. And in that 1 second on the bench, I mean, I just snapped. Like I lost it. And the incident happened. I got up, and I was so mad at Dan for putting him out there. And Dan didn't do anything wrong. I just snapped in the moment. And I ended up getting a call from the league the next day, and they said, you can't do that. You're getting fined $25,000. And I said, $25,000? They said, for what? And they said, because you can't take a stick and slam it over the glass into the other team's bench. And I said, well, I didn't do that. So I didn't grab it. I didn't take any stick and smash it. Like I just kind of snapped for a second and don't remember it. But on my way down the end of the bench, as when I went back and looked at it, somebody had their stick knob sticking out the back. I grabbed that thing and slithered it right under his arm, and all in one motion, I came over the top of the bench, and you can see the piece of the shaft of the stick go onto the ice. And so after they showed me the video, I was like, okay, you're right, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So,
guilty.
They
got video evidence.
We love it.
They had the I really didn't remember. I didn't even remember taking a stick. I remember I was pissed.
Yeah. That's what they gave you, 25,000?
25 grand for taking that stick and go. I think Tony got 10, but I was in Tony's wedding.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at Tony. At the time, I was mad at Dan for putting a line out on the ice after I put mine out on the ice. But
yeah, no, I get that. And sometimes it's healthy to blow up and show the team like, no, I'm pissed at what happened. And you can't do it all the time. But sometimes they rally around you after you stick up for them like that. I wasn't even on the team, and I certainly I liked you afterwards. Trust me, I like it.
No, man, that was interesting. Hey, in Nashville, like coaching a guy like PK Subban, like do you ever have to call him in and be like, hey, let's like tone it down a little bit, PK, or do you just let him loose? Like, do you like personalities like that, or how do you handle those?
So. I think PK came in. I mean, you think about what happened once he got there. I feel like if you're going to win a championship or if you're going to get to the finals and play for a cup, you have to have a really good set of defense. And so he came in, and our top four defensemen were Yossi, Ellis, Ekholm, and Subban, and they were really good. Ekholm and Subban were fantastic together, and especially in that playoff series, they were two big bodies, and they played hard defensively, and they were shut down. They were also really gifted offensively, but they were shut down D. We had PK. I do think he has a big personality. When he was there, I loved coaching him. I thought he was fantastic for our team. Maybe some guys, because he does do a lot of things that I think are really positive in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you think about some of the things that he's done from a charitable standpoint with the hospital in Montreal, and I think about that commitment that he made to get that hospital that amount of money, I think that's incredible. When he was in Nashville, he started a charity that brought a police officer and a guest and an inner city kid, somebody maybe who had somebody was having some trouble, mm-hmm. or was on the had slipped off to the wrong side of the track once in a while, and he allowed them a guest, and he brought 4 people to the game. He met them before every game, and it was just a chance to try and connect 2 people where maybe there could be a positive influence in somebody's life. And I'm thinking to myself, that's an unbelievable thing that he did. And so he is a big personality. He's on TV right now, and I think he does a good job because he's a big personality. But I think about him as a player in Nashville, and he played really well and did a really good job for us. And then I think about what he does in the world, and I think he's maybe one of the best that I've seen. I think that he's got an amazing heart when it comes to giving and helping others. I think he's unbelievable.
Yeah. Hey, what about listen, we had Austin Watson on the show, man, and
Great
really
guy.
enjoyed the conversation with him. Just seemed
Love that kid.
Yeah, to see him go through what he's gone through, and now it appears, at least on the outside, that he's got it all mostly together. You never know; it's always a struggle, man. You know what these guys go through behind the scenes, but to see his career, at least he's still playing and doing his thing. You got to be real proud. Like, what was your relationship like with him?
Really good. So he was. I think he's a really important part of a winning team. Again, we lost in the finals. We weren't able to get it done. Pittsburgh won, and that always stings. But just to get there, it takes an amazing group, and it takes all different types of people and players. And in order for that to happen, in order for a team to be successful, and so we had. I mentioned the 4D, and then we had Forsberg and Johansson, and we had players that could score, and we had players that could create. I also think that you need the right mix of physicality, and I think through that playoffs, I think Waddy led the playoffs in hits, and so you get somebody who can skate, who can hit, who can fight, and who can still chip in a goal and an assist and play the game. He was a really good player on our team, and I was really happy that he was able to get things back on track. And I actually think our relationship probably became stronger through that, where there was more conversations that you have, and I'm really proud of him for where he is right now and what he's been able to accomplish in his career, because there was a bump or two in the road, and he found his way over those bumps, and he's doing really well right now.
Yeah,
so I'm really happy for him.
Oh, he's a great guy, and he came on and talked to us for an hour and a half. Hey, let me ask you something. And I know you're not behind the scenes, and you're not really associated with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I just you're a smart guy. What do you think's happening with them? And I know they got out of the first round. We all get that. The Lightning were tired. They're beat up. They've been winning for 3 years. But what do you think about that organization and why they can't take it to the next level? I'm sorry. The only reason why I'm sorry.
I did another podcast, and it was like going into Game 7 or something like that. And I'm like, I don't dare. I mean,
just say what you really feel, and we'll edit it out.
We'll edit it out.
No. It's not that. It's not that. I have to do that inside of my job. Like, my job is to try and get to the playoffs, to try and get out of that first round, to try and win rounds, to try and win a Stanley Cup. And so I think for anybody to try and take a crack at what goes on there, why positive, why negative, why, I don't think they really know. I think that you have to be on the inside, and why didn't they win the second round? Why didn't they win the first round last year? I don't have those answers. I think you need to be closer to it, and you need to be in there and see things going on. For me to throw in 2 cents on something that I don't really know, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
I know.
And,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot on that.
Cam,
I'm just curious.
I don't think it's smart, but I know for sure it's a hot topic though, because it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? Yeah. It's the New York Yankees, it's the Dallas Cowboys, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. I get it.
Hey, listen,
I get it.
Kyle Dubas, I guess they just announced he's not coming back. So you should be like the Barry Trotz. Maybe you should become like a GM now, like Peter. No. I'm down a road right now, so I'm gonna stick with what I know or what I think I know. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with what I think I know, and see where that goes. But I know Barry went in there. I think it's a good spot for Barry. I mean, he spent so much time in Nashville, and so much time with David Poyle, and he knows the area, he knows the fan base. Obviously, a smart hockey guy, and this is what he wants to do, and so that's great for him. I don't think that when I am done coaching, I don't think you'll see me try to pull a GM job. I love coaching. I'll be honest with you. I love coaching. If nobody called me and my days were done in the NHL, man, I can't wait to go to like Zurich, Switzerland. I can't wait to go to Mannheim, Germany. I can't wait to go to Innsbruck, Austria, and which is 4 levels down over there in Europe.
Beautiful.
And just coach and have fun and like see the world and go to different places. I mean, I always wanted to coach college hockey. I always wanted to be a D1 college coach.
Wow.
It has, that from a timing standpoint and a good thing. I'm not complaining, trust me. But I'm just saying, like, coaching college would have been great. Like, I look at a guy like Jerry York and the success that he had at Boston College, and the fact that he was able to stay in one place for so long and have a great team and build a great culture and have a great life. And I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
and,
he doesn't even have to recruit. They just call him. Like, Jerry, can I come play for you?
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, listen, you're one of the most successful coaches ever, and it's interesting because you're always at the top of the list for all these head coaching jobs. You've never taken a year off. I don't think. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I know you've gotten fired early in seasons in the past, so maybe it felt like it. But like, what is it about coaching that you are just always ready to jump back in, because there's always going to be interest in hiring you?
Yeah. I don't know. I think if you're talking about a coach and longevity, I think there has to be some level of success, right? Like there's got to be, you have to be able to go in and do things and make things happen. And I've been fortunate. I've gone to great organizations, and at the times that I was there, I've had great teams that were put in front of me, and I've been in good spots. I will say that I don't think they've always been layups. I don't think it was a layup in Carolina. I think that year we won the Cup. Sports Illustrated came out and they ranked the 30 teams. I think they had Washington. We made sure we posted in the room on a regular basis. They had Washington ranked at 30th, and we were ranked at 29th. And I'll never forget the last line said, "Feel free to make them 30th." So,
wow.
It was like we weren't 30th, but they were saying, but if you really feel the need to put Carolina at 30th, go ahead. But to me, what I love about it is the building part. And because like I said, we didn't make the playoffs for a couple of years, and we ended up taking a team where there was really no expectation whatsoever. And by the end of that year, there was a true belief in the room that we were going to beat anybody. And so that was a credit to the guys, to Rod Brindamore. You see what he's doing now.
Oh yeah.
Rod was the captain of that team, and the players that were built. Corey Stillman came in. Like, we picked up some players that I thought were really important.
Dougie Wade, right?
Dougie Wade,
Mark Recchi.
They had good players. They had good players there. They had some veteran defensemen that were there, like Brett Hedekin and Glenn Wesley, and Nick Wallin had been there. So just real good, steady defensemen. And they had some good players, like Rod Brindamore was there, Justin Williams was there, Eric Stahl was there, Eric Cole was there. But I thought Jim Rutherford did a really good job of picking up a few players. And so one of the players for me was Corey Stillman. I think he had just won in Tampa.
Yeah.
And he became available. He was like our leading. He was close. He was maybe number 2 in scoring next to Eric Stahl in the regular season. And then him and Stahl were 1-2, and he played on Stahl's wing all the time. And they were fantastic. They were unbelievable. And then another player that they picked up was Ray Whitney.
Oh, the Wizard.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this guy.
Great guy.
I love this guy. And he came in and he provided everybody. And so you talked about, personality, like you were talking about Subban and his personality and what he brings. And we talked about Austin Watson and his personality, what he brings to a team. Ray Whitney brought a lightness, a lightheartedness to our team that was awesome. He was funny. He was loved by everybody in the room. But when it came time to play, he was skilled and he would compete. And so it was just a different personality inside of our room, and it ended up being really positive. And then you're right. We picked up I think we picked up Dougie Waite in like January,
Mm-hmm.
and then Eric Cole broke his neck.
Yeah, that's right.
And it hit into the boards, and so we felt like we needed another winger, and we went out and got Mark Recchi.
Yeah. We've had so many of those guys on, man. And Cam Ward, too, who came out. Like, we've heard all these stories about great team, you know?
Cam did a number. Cam came in, and, like, he literally saved us.
Mm-hmm.
We started that first series 0-2. And we went with him up in Montreal in Game 3. And we ended up winning the game. I think Rod tipped a goal in with, like, 5 minutes to go to put us up 3-2 or something like that. Then we won the next game in overtime, maybe, and then we're back. I think we won 4 straight.
Hey,
and
sometimes
Cam won them, and then Cam ran with it.
Sometimes, though, when you bring in some veterans like that, it could stir the pot in the locker room too. You know, it doesn't always work. Like, like we've seen that happen, and we've seen it happen with Brett Hall going to Dallas. Like, he didn't act like he was a big guy in the locker room. He just sat back and did his thing, and it worked.
Yeah, I remember. It was kind of funny. I remember Doug Waite and Mark Recchi. We were in Montreal, and they were first line players on their teams. We traded for them, and they were first line players. And now they're on a team that's already got Stahl and Cole and Stillman and Whitney and Brindamore and Williams. And so now, it's at times they're slotted in on the third line, and just by a minute standpoint, there's just not enough minutes when you build that right from a coaching standpoint. There's not enough minutes to go around. You can't give everybody 20 minutes.
Mm-mm.
And so the minutes come down we had guys that had been there. I remember both those guys in Montreal. You remember, you guys remember the stick room in Montreal? There was like this stick room on the other side from the locker room.
Yeah, I remember the crappy showers. I remember the hot dogs.
So not on there, but on the other side is where the sticks were. So there's that hallway and everything.
Yes.
Coach's office on one side. On the other side was the stick room and the train. I think that's where the hot dogs went.
Yeah.
But anyway, they grabbed me and they brought me into that room, and they're like, "What are we doing here?" They're like, "We want to play. We want to play." And I'm like, "Great, awesome. I want you to play." And so that's their just to your point of like bringing it in. They wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
They're used to more. They made their careers on more. And so it's sometimes a tough balance trying to figure out those minutes and how you can manage it.
Yeah.
And power play and all that.
I think about everything. So we already had a first power play unit. And Dougie Waite was masterful on the power play. Mark Recchi, unbelievable on the power play. And so it just became a little bit more challenging. But I think about it too. I think both of those guys ended up with 16 or 17 points. And so that's not like you're not going to win the
Conn Smythe. No, but
you're not going to win that on that. But you can't win if you don't have that secondary scoring like that. The guys that Eric Stahl had 50 goals and 100 points, right? And so you need layering underneath that. And so those guys came in and they provided that. They were players that could produce. They were skilled, they were talented, and they knew how to compete, and they could produce as a playoff series went on. And I think they ended up with, like I said, 15, 16, 17 points, and I can't tell you how valuable that is when you get scoring like that underneath your big guys.
Hey, real quick on the Phillies, because Pronger was unbelievable that playoff year in 2006 for Edmonton. I mean, you could have made the case that he should have won the Conn Smythe, even in a losing cause. He was so good, just carried that team. Did he do the same thing for you in Philly? Like in 2010, man, like he was incredible then. He's stealing pucks and playing unbelievable hockey.
Yeah, so obviously it takes a team, right? But I did mention that I think when you're talking about a championship, you have to have a good 4 defensemen. That's just my opinion. And so we had at that point the entire year, and I think there was between these 4 guys, I want to say maybe there was 2-man games lost. Like one came out one night because they were sick, and one came out one night because there was a concussion going into the All-Star break, and he couldn't play, but he could when they got back from the All-Star. That's not exactly what it was, but I'm just saying there was only like 2-man games lost to Timo Timonen and Braden Coburn.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Kimo and Kobe played together, and then Matty Carl and Pronger played together, and they were unbelievable. That 4 was unbelievable.
Yeah, they were.
They were really good.
Yeah. No, I remember like I went to a couple of those games in that Stanley Cup final. Hey, listen, a couple more things for you. Let's talk a little Ovi. Like when you're coaching a player of that magnitude, like how do you balance of you're trying to win, you're trying to make the playoffs, he's trying to get the record. It's all about the record. It's all about Ovi scoring goals. How does that resonate throughout the room and like the coaching staff? How do you navigate through that?
So in 3 years, never once was it about Ovi scoring goals.
Mm-hmm.
Never once was it for Ovi about that. He is not like that. Does he want to score goals? He does, and I'm glad he does, and he's really good at what he does. But it was never like that. I don't know if this was my first chance to really get to know Ovi. I knew him before, but I think when you work with somebody, you really get to know him. I have so much respect for him as a person, as a player, for the way he plays the game. I mean, if you think about what he's going to do in his career, there's a chance that he'll be the number one guy in goals. I don't know how far he'll push up this list, but he's going to be probably top 3 in hits. And when he hits, I mean he hits. He is a physical presence on the ice. And to be able to do that over the longevity of his career, he's a good person. I loved working with him. I had lots of great times with him. I was able to coach him. He's just a really good person. And I enjoyed every single minute. Like I'll look back at my career and there'll be things that I'm going to say, I was really happy I was able to do this. I was really happy I was able to do that. I was really happy to be able to work with him for 3 years.
Yeah. Everybody loves him.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
He's like he's like Muhammad Ali. He's like Tom Brady. He's like Babe Ruth. You know what I mean?
He's gonna have statues in Washington D.C.
When he's done, he's gonna. I think he will if he stays healthy, but he's gonna break a record that nobody thought could be broken or would be broken. And
how is his health? Is his health okay?
You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it if you talked to him.
How's his health?
You wouldn't know that his health is good.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
You know, I think through the course of the season, everybody gets banged up, and there's times when he's sore. But I'll tell you what, he plays through a lot because of the way he plays the game. You guys see it, like the way that he skates and the way he hits. It takes a toll on your body. He plays in games. He does everything he can to possibly be in the lineup every night. He practices, and if on a percentage, he practices 90% of the time, 95% of the time. There's a day when he's played 3 games in 4 nights. He was physical, and he says, "I need a minute for this to let up. You know, for this is bugging me. I need it to let up." But it's not. He goes out and he works hard in practice. He was awesome.
He's a machine, man.
He was awesome.
And you know what? Like when you hit guys, that wears you out more than even getting hit. When you go out of your way and you got to take that extra stride, and then you put your body on the line, like he doesn't wear out.
Yeah, but there's hitters. Cam, you're a good hitter. There's hitters. There's guys that know how to track and know how to hit. Yeah. Ovi hits. And then there's guys that just hit. You know, they go up and they rub into something.
Oh, they'll put their butt out. They'll stick their ass out.
Yeah,
I see it.
And he does not do that.
No. He plays through you, right? Yeah.
He goes through you, man. Like it's got, and there's a lot of speed behind it. There's a lot of muscle behind it. There's a lot of power behind it. It's physical. So I got a lot of respect for Ovi. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, so do we, man. We pump his tires all the time, and we talk about how crazy it is that like a Russian is going to have a statue in the capital of the United States, you know. But listen, I always talk to veteran coaches and general managers, and they say every day like you just never know what to expect. So you know, like you always get these different curveballs. But like when he had to handle the whole Putin situation, and he's doing a press conference with all that. As a coach, like how much do you get involved with that? Is it you just let the PR staff handle that? Like, what do you say to Alexander Ovechkin?
Yeah, you know, he obviously. Well, listen, we support Ovi. You this is going into politics, and I can't even mention politics in my coach's office without some sort of a bomb going off. So we stay away from it. And I understand that this is much bigger, and there's problems going on in the world. He didn't start these problems, and so he came to play hockey. He's here. He was a great teammate. He loves the city of DC. He loves the fan base. He's also, he's a Russian-born hockey player that comes from Russia, and so there's obviously some tension. But I think when we were there, we did our best to support Alex because he was here representing our team, and I think there's things that are going on bigger in the world that really they're not tied to him.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And he always had a lot of Russians there too. He always had a lot of support. Yeah. Except when they got caught in the hotel room or whatever during COVID, it was like the end of the world, But you got through that too, Peter. You truly have seen it all. Okay, so I will ask you this because your name's been mentioned with a couple of teams right now. So like, where do things sit? Like, you've interviewed with teams. Have you been offered a job yet? Like, where do things stand with you right now for next year?
So obviously, out of respect to whatever goes on, and I've been on a couple places and they asked the same question, and I would, if an opportunity presented itself, I would love to coach again. I still want to try to come in and have some sort of an impact on a team, or try to do my part and see if we can't take a team that wants to find success or hasn't found success and try to do whatever I could to bring that to the table. In fairness to whatever goes on this spring and this summer, I've said I'm just going to probably keep things to myself, because the last thing you want is for be talking about something that's not out there that may have potential to be out there. So I've been asked that question a lot, and I've done my best to skirt it. I've done my best to skirt it, just like I did right now.
We get it.
Listen, a team's going to hire you because
dude. Whatever you want to do.
You got the resume.
Or you can fish all day.
Yeah,
whatever you want to do.
No, listen,
you win either way,
Yeah.
Those tarpon need some attention too. So you're right.
You're damn right. Hey, one real quick. Hey, I looking you up, we get all these guests on, and I remember the HBO series and that speech you gave, and you came in. I just loved it. I'm saying as a player, you came in and you said that. I'm like, I'm gonna go out there and do something. Like I felt it. So like you just you prepare for that when you know that you got to get down with it. And you got to get their damn attention because they're in La La Land. Like explain your process.
Well, we won that game, so that was good. It had there's a couple things. Okay, one, that was awesome. There's lots of things that came out from me. I try to quietly go about my business, and this was part of the deal. You had to sign a contract when they were coming in, when HBO was coming in. They were going to do 24/7. Like, you had to let them know that you weren't going to say, I'm not wearing that mic. I'm not doing that today. Or take this, you knew something was going to heat up. Take that mic off me. There's a couple things that stick out in my mind about that. The very first day I went into work, and I was there at like 7 o'clock, and they were there at 7 o'clock waiting for me, and they strapped that microphone on my hip, and they ran it up underneath my jacket, and they clipped it in. And I went into the coach's office, and I'm like, hey, I just want you guys to know I'm mic'd up, so, whatever you do here, just keep that in mind. And so I remember I had to take a piss, and I went into the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom, but I didn't want them to hear me taking a leak, so I was trying to hit the side of the toilet so that it wouldn't, like the inside part of the bowl without hitting the water, so that they wouldn't know that I was. And then that night we had a game, and I remember the guy saying, yeah, listen, it'll be you won't even know we're in there. And the camera guy will be in the corner, and you won't even notice him. And I'm like, okay, fine. So you're going in for your pregame speech, and the camera guy was in the corner. Like, there was a spot, and so he was crouched in the corner. He was up squatting in the corner, and he had the camera going. I saw him right away. But as soon as I walked in the room, the boom guy was laying on the middle of the floor with the boom pointing up, and hey, you're sitting there thinking it's going to be discreet, and it's not. And so the thing's there. And then what I learned really quick after I went to the bathroom that very first morning was how quickly you forget that you're mic'd.
Oh, so tell me about
everything everything that you see there is actually with me not even remembering that I'm mic'd. And so when I go into a room, whatever the message, whether you're gonna light a fire, or whether you're gonna be positive, or whether you're gonna be funny, whatever it is, I completely forgot I was mic'd.
That's why it was good.
Do you get to watch it before they and help decide how it's edited?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You get to watch it, but at that point they wanted it. They wanted that in there. It's not like you could come in and say, "Listen, you got to take that out." There's too much profanity or whatever. They wanted all of it.
Hell yeah, it's HBO.
And so it was good. It was funny, that rant. I've seen it a couple times, but they took that speech, which people come up to me sometimes, and my son was just home with two of his buddies, and they memorized it. And they said it. They said it at like the national championship game. Like before the game, one of the kids get up in the room and like he spits it out word for word. So people kind of mention that one clip all the time. Mm-hmm. But there's somebody who dubbed it over to Kindergarten Cop. Have you seen that?
No, but I'm going to look it up.
You got to look it up.
We're going to post that too.
It's the funniest thing you've ever seen. So it's me going in there, and when I snap with the profanity, they show all these kindergarten kids like jumping and being startled, and they tie it right into Kindergarten Cop. It's pretty funny.
I love it. I love it, man.
Hey, next time you just sit down to pee. That's what Cam does anyway.
Well, God, that's no good. Hey, nobody's mic. I'm not letting that happen. I can't do that. I would be so worried when I'm sleeping at night. Like, what the hell did I say?
Play with some jam. That's what you say,
that
man.
Jam going. They monetize that.
I hope you made money off those T-shirts.
Everything came out like, it's just and none of it, I think going into a room, like nothing's ever written down. Like even in that speech that you see, like nothing's written down for me. Everything is what I see, what I see on the ice. If I think it's good, I'll let them know. If I think it's shit, I'm going to let them know that too. Mm-hmm. And so for me, everything's always real. It's nothing that you've written down and you're reading back to them. Like for me, you go in with, you lead with what's in your gut and what's in your heart. And so in that particular moment, I was livid. Like we had just come off of a bad game. We were talking about how we were going to straighten it out. And so we just played a lousy first period. And so, that's just.
You won the game. Hey, you won the game,
what
Petey.
came out.
Yeah, right.
Listen, I've got two more things for it, and you can go as long as you want or as short as you want. But I want to know like your feeling on a couple of these guys. Number one, Tommy Wilson. Coaching a player like him,
Tommy.
We've had him on too, man, and have kept in touch with him. Like, how much do you appreciate him as a player, and how unique of a player is he in terms of what's going on in the league today?
It's a real dying breed. 32 teams there's 31 teams that hate him, and there's 32 teams that would really do just about anything to have him on their team.
Yep.
And so, the way he plays, he's a leader. He's a physical specimen. Like he's a force. He's tough. He's got character. The leader. He's capable of. I think he just put up. His best year last year. He put up big numbers, and I think there's still room for growth with regard to that. I think he's a really good hockey player, but the way everything he does on the ice is a 10. So. Like I said, 32 teams would love to have him.
Oh yeah, man, he's awesome. He's awesome. All right, and the other thing, listen, as a young coach, like you were on the bench with Pat Burns and Mike Keenan, like in 1 year. This is like no one else is ever going to be able to say that. Yeah. Any similarities between those two? Did you like what'd you take from each guy, especially a guy like Keenan too, man?
Yeah, they're both. Obviously, they're really good coaches. They were around a long time. They won a lot of hockey games. You think about what Pat was able to do in his career. You think about how many times Mike took teams to the finals, different teams, the impact that he had on teams. And you're right, it was kind of weird. I was a head coach in Providence. I talked earlier about that the first year. The second year, we ended up losing in the semifinals to John Paddock's team in Hartford, and in 7 games. In the conference finals, and he went on and won the finals, and so we kind of missed out on the championship that year. But when I was there for those 2 years, especially the second year, I established a really good relationship with Pat. And I had mentioned Bobby Francis went up to be on his staff. That's how I started getting into coaching. And so Bobby went to be coach in Arizona, and that left a spot open on Pat's staff. And I didn't really want to go and be an assistant coach. I didn't accept the assistant coaching job in Providence the first time. I went to Wheeling because I wanted to be a head coach. But the more I talked about it with my wife, we decided that I was a career minor league player. I had no NHL name or recognition or didn't play any games, and I just thought the experience probably of being an assistant coach in the NHL would help me get to the NHL as a head coach. And so Pat asked me to come up and be on his staff, and like I said, we had developed a really, really good relationship in that second year that I was in the minors and when he was the head coach. And so my third year there, he asked me to come up, and so I ended up accepting the position and being an assistant coach in Boston for him. And it didn't go very well early in the season. In the first, I think, 7 games or 10 games, or it was quick. It was pretty early. Maybe it was more than that. I can't remember, but they ended up making a coaching change, and Mike Keenan came in. And so, they're both the veteran coaches from the old school thought and old school mentality. They've had a lot of success, and I think you're constantly learning, especially as a young coach. So
Keenan,
picking their brain.
Keenan, you're pulling goalies. Yeah. That's what you learned from Keenan.
Yeah, he was cool when he came on.
Hey, man, all the best to you.
We appreciate you coming on. Kick your feet up and enjoy that weather down there.
Hey, who wins the cup? Who wins the cup?
You got to answer that.
Who wins the cup?
So I'll give you this. I can't give you an answer, but I will tell you this. We played, and this is not I said it to my wife the minute we were done playing them. We played Florida late in the year. Mm-hmm. And I think that they were still going back and forth between the goaltenders. That was the only thing that was unsettled. Mm-hmm. And we played them, and we're looking at their depth chart, and then we played the game. We had to play against them, and I saw how they were built, the toughness, the grit, the physicality, the skill, the depth. And I said to my wife, I said, these guys they could win. And so they maybe shouldn't have beat Boston. This is I'm going to get to my answer. They maybe shouldn't have beat Boston. They don't think that, but nobody else picked them, right? Everybody picked Boston. Mm-hmm. So they maybe shouldn't have beat them, but they did. Mm-hmm. And then Toronto gets out of the first round, and they get a lot of juice and a lot of momentum. They've got a real high-octane lineup. And maybe Florida shouldn't have beat Toronto, but they did. And so now they're playing, last night's game against Carolina, who's been really a good team for years now, and they play the game right, and they play it the right way, and they're in Carolina, and I know what the fans are like in Carolina. They probably shouldn't have won game 1, but they did. And so at this point, I would not bet against. I just wouldn't bet against Florida, just for that reason. I think that they're doing something that they shouldn't be. They don't think that, and it's not a knock on them. I'm not knocking them. What I said was, when I got home after we played them, I told my wife, I said that team could win the cup. Oh. And now they're beating teams that maybe they weren't picked to beat. Maybe they weren't the favorite. And so I think when your team starts to do that, at times it can get a little bit scary. Yeah,
there's always that like team of destiny or whatever, and now they're 4-0 in overtime. I think,
the
man.
Kings in 2012.
Listen, we know the Kachucks, man.
We love them
real well. We're pulling for that kid and that family.
Hey,
man,
we appreciate you coming on, though, man. You were great, and
all right, guys.
Good luck to you. We'll touch base.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks
for
Peter.
having me on. We'll see you later.
All the best, man.
Pete.
Take care.
See you, buddy.
The Cam Strick podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
All right, that was Peter Laviolette, Cam.
Great guy.
Great houses, by the way. I see some of these houses he's buying and selling. Had a terrific spot down in, just terrific, by the way.
What?
terrific spot down in Florida.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. He's doing his thing.
And
that's why I'm like, why, sometimes, like.
His place in Washington was nice, too, man.
Washington? Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, he's probably got some.
Washington.
He's probably got some awesome places. But, like, if he's got a ton of money, which he does, and you're in Florida, man, like, sometimes I'm like, you want to coach another team?
You want
like,
that Florida team.
Aren't you? I know. Aren't you chilling down there, though?
But let me ask you this. If you're a coach, and you know the shelf life is what it is anyway, would you rather coach in Florida for a team that has no chance of competing or going to coach a damn good team where you're going to, like, elevate
you want to win.
your status, man, and make money and all that?
I get that. You want to win, okay? You want to win, and when you retire, you're going to retire. But
like Joe Quenneville's the one that played it right. And this guy's winning cups everywhere, whatever. He got into a situation where he can kind of pick and choose wherever he wanted to go. He could wait, and he got that Florida job, man. No, I know, but he got that Florida job. Yeah, because it was all about, hey, let's like go to a spot where we can.
Yeah, and well, they were pretty good at the time too. So it's like, you know, but yeah. It just, you want to win, dude. The reason why you're coaching is to win, to get that satisfaction. You don't just want to do it just to make the fucking money. You already got money, so you're going to want to win. So if he has to go to a hardcore environment, like, you're willing to sacrifice to goddamn win.
Where's their hardcore environment?
New York, Toronto, anywhere in Canada.
Is it
Chicago.
Is it hardcore?
Yeah, I would say that'd be a hardcore environment to coach for sure. You know, would Nashville be that hard? No. Florida be that hard? No. Carolina? No. Mm-hmm. New York? You fucking ain't right. Even the Islanders, you damn right.
Like, I know New York is New York, but is there really that much? Like, when you compare the Knicks and the Mets and the Yankees and the Jets and the Giants to the Rangers, is it really in the same type of bubble as those teams?
What?
I just feel like the Rangers.
What are you asking?
Yeah, it's in a big market, but I don't feel like, and yeah, you get media people writing and saying things about it.
It's just hard living. It's hard living in the city. Everything's chaos.
I thought you were talking about dealing with, like, everything. The media and the fans.
I'm talking everything. I'm talking the pressure from the media, the pressure from the fans, getting to work, getting outside of work, getting around places, doing things, finding this, doing that. You play coaching and playing in New York is.
It ain't that hard.
When you well, compared to what?
People love living there.
I know they do, but I'm just saying, if you're in Florida kicking your feet up watching the fucking dolphins swim. Now you're going to go to New York and live in the city and have to commute everywhere. It's a different environment. What are we arguing about?
They still have to commute in Florida.
What are we arguing about?
They don't live in Sunrise.
Get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying?
These players don't live in Sunrise.
And he talks to me like I'm his
They
kid.
work in Sunrise.
And he talks to me like I'm fucking a little Ivy. Little cute. Like I'm like seriously like a child. Like, get out of here.
Why didn't you say happy birthday to Ty?
And what? I should give me a FaceTime.
You did. Oh, you did?
Said FaceTime me.
Oh, I don't know if you said that.
Because my cousin, you know.
You were on the boat that day, dude.
I gotta say though, I need to do more. I need to go see a couple kids play more.
Yes.
And one of them is my little cousin, it's my cousin's husband's son, Kellen Moore. I'm gonna give you a little shout out. Kara and Derek, I love you guys so much. So Derek Moore, who's such a good dude, he's followed me.
I think he just made the AAA team.
Let me explain the damn story. Fuck almighty. God, you always do that. So anyway, my Derek, who just loves hockey, so followed me everywhere I went. He went to, followed my whole career. So he's got this kid, Kellen Moore, who's a big, handsome, tough kid, and he goes everywhere. He's just so into it, and he's such a good kid. And all of a sudden, I'm just chilling the other day, and like he was playing for Kirkwood, Andy. I think he was playing for
Chesterfield or something.
Chesterfield, like he didn't make AAA yet. Mm-hmm. And you guys know, man. If you don't know, in St. Louis, if you play for the AAA Blues, you're the big dick. You're the big dick. You got the fucking blue note on your chest at a young age. So the other night, I'm sitting there, and I know how much he wanted to make this AAA team. So Derek sends me a picture of like the email they sent out. Now, back in the 90s, when I got that for the first time, when I made the AAA team when I was a kid, not even knowing what was going on, but I know that the AAA, that's what it is. You got all new free equipment. You were wearing a blue note. And I remember being in my house.
Free equipment?
Yeah, they gave us all nice equipment and stuff. Yes. We did. We had pants, AAA pants with the logo.
You got to pay for them, but yeah.
Okay, whatever. And you got the blue note on your pants.
Yeah.
And you have the socks matching, and you have the same jersey as a goddamn Blues wear. Mm-hmm. And when I got that in the mail at the time, because it was the 90s, I remember how excited I was. You read it, you go, "Congratulations, Cam! You are now a AAA Blue." And they're dead serious in what they say to you, and they list off all the other players. And this goes to everybody, not just the guys that made it, but the guys that didn't make it too. So you
didn't find out, like they didn't like post it on the glass,
they sent it,
or like
they sent it,
call you.
They called my dad. My dad didn't tell me.
Okay.
He didn't tell me.
Okay.
There you go, Andy.
Okay.
You're right.
I was gonna say
he didn't tell me,
You're
which
like,
is funny. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just hands me a paper.
I've done that with my daughter.
He hands me a paper, and I read that, and I started crying. And then all of a sudden, I go to practice, and they give you your jersey. First, they give you a fucking shirt. I remember it, man. They give you a shirt that says, "I'm a part of the AAA Blues." And I was like, God damn, yes. And then you see your jersey. And I put my equipment on, and I stared at myself in the mirror for fucking 2 hours with that blue note on my chest. And I was so pumped up. And so right when he texted me that about Kellen making it, I called him right away. I go, put me on FaceTime Live, and I talked to him. And he's just so happy. And I'm like, I got to do more. I got to go out and see this kid play. And I go, no, you're in the spotlight, Kellen. You didn't just make the team. Now you got to go do it. Now you got to stay on this damn team.
He's a 2010.
Now you got to get noticed. Now when you go to Toronto, all the agents are watching you. Now you're playing against the best kids in the fucking country. Now the spotlight's on you. Go do your goddamn thing, kid. And he's gonna be okay, man. So I felt so good when you make a team like that. And I know Andy, like if Ty, when he plays AAA and he puts the jersey on, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, homie. It's a good fucking feeling. That's the step. Now you're in the spotlight for that age group. Go fucking do it. So you're gonna say the same. I'm gonna do the same thing in a couple years of Ty. I'm gonna give him the pump up speech. You're going to send me that same motherfucking letter, and I'm going to call you right back. And you'll be crying, and Ty's going to be like, what's up? You'll be crying. So you know.
You'll be crying.
Yeah, man, I like seeing that, dude. It makes me feel good.
No, congrats to your cousin.
Hell yeah.
That's
a good
great.
feeling. You guys all know if you got kids, man, they make that team. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So.
And they work hard for that.
Fuck, that's a big deal.
They work hard
people
for
watching.
that.
I remember first couple tournaments, like,
hey,
my dad was getting
and
bombarded
you're
by
starting
people.
to see like turnover already. You know, like even at the younger ages, man. Like kids, just because you make it 1 year, it's not a lifetime contract.
That's
man.
what I said.
You know what I'm saying?
I go now. Hey, you made now the hard part's
I
staying.
see kids even at the younger ages. You can just tell, man. They just assume. Everybody assumes like this.
I'm on forever.
Yeah.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You might play one shift and not play again. Like you don't know. This is business now. Like it kind of is more than on the other league. Like you're AAA Blues. Like you're representing. You're in the big boy tournaments. You got people watching you.
Anything stand out from Peter? Besides his real estate.
Oh God.
Where do you want to see him go?
Who's fired? What teams are open? What do we got?
Well, you've got
What we got?
New York,
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Columbus.
I'm not gonna lie to you. At his age, well, no, he wants to win. So I say New York. If you want to suck it up and go there with the team that you have there, although they're gonna
His
be
kids are all out of the house and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
so
They could live.
if he
down.
wants to do it, like he doesn't want a
Manhattan.
long-term ordeal. Like you want to try to win now. You know what I mean? You want to try to win now. So New York would be a good option in my opinion. What other options do we have? Who else got fired? Calgary. Oh yeah, they're pretty good too, man. You could turn that team around.
Brad Treliving said, "See
like
you
him.
later."
I like him.
He's cool as shit.
Get him on, please.
He'll be on.
Yeah, all right. We got a couple big dogs coming up too, by the way, dudes.
Yeah, he's
So
cool.
all y'all know.
I like Brad.
Yeah. I would want to win now kind of mode, you know. If I'm a young guy, I'd go to Columbus. And
I think
figure out
Brad
some
maybe is eyeing another job, but he may end up getting that Toronto job. But he may be the same situation. I don't know if he wants to go work for Brendan Shanahan either. Like, I mean,
I don't want to work for anybody.
it's not about Brendan.
No.
It's just I
It's
don't
about having a boss.
If you want an established general manager with a resume and experience, I just don't know if that situation is for everybody.
No, it's for
whole-
a young Kyle Dubas.
The president GM dynamic.
Yeah, no.
The Keith Jones situation, he's not even. I don't even think he has full autonomy over like hockey decisions, but he's going to have a lot of decisions. Like he hires the GM, probably has decisions over like hiring coaches and stuff like that.
Too.
Right now he is, yeah. I don't think that'll continue.
Yeah,
he's good though, man. He's a very likable guy, man.
I do. I like Keith Jones.
Yeah, he's
I like
cool.
him a lot. Yep.
And Eddie, all those guys, man.
I like all of them, man. They like us, dude. They're always good to us, man.
Yeah.
I like those guys.
Scott Mellenby, he was the guy who
Love Scotty.
Went pretty far in that whole interview process too. So
Scotty's cool as shit, man. He's always in St. Louis skating with us and stuff. I love Scotty. I like picking his brain.
Very smart.
Every time we go in an alumni room and I see him, dude, I always go right to him like, "What's up?"
Very smart.
Like, "What up, baby?" Tougher than fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not many guys I don't like, Andy. I know I like complain about shit all the time, but there's not many people I really don't like. Now, politically, we don't need to get into it. There's a couple people
You've been
I might go fuck
chirping
yourself.
a lot.
I chirp Joe Buck, man. Joe
I love Joe.
Funny.
Joe's always been very good to me.
He's always nice to me too. I just think he thinks, I don't know. He's good at what he does. Who am I kidding? I'm just bitching. I hate the cyclists that I yelled at. I don't like them.
Well, you should have had trouble sleeping because of that.
I didn't feel good after I yelled at that guy. I've done some weird things in my day, but I did. Afterwards, I'm like, why did I do that?
Well, I brought you some steak sauce today from barbecue.
I know. They look. I'll use that. I'll try it out. No doubt. I'm not gonna try. I use
it on mine.
Yeah. Andy.
Poor
Ty. No one eats meat in that house, but like Andy's starting to feed Ty meat because I keep like telling him like, the kid's got to grow.
That's not true about that.
And so Ty's never eaten meat before, so this first time he eating a steak, and he cooks him a frozen. Dude,
I make him burgers
steak.
all the time.
It probably tasted like leather, dude. Like he's probably like, "Oh, Daddy, I like the." Like, what? Come on.
I think my wife said, "This is pretty good."
Oh yeah, I bet she liked it. God awful.
Jesus. Oh my!
I mean, I wouldn't chirp you if you don't brag about it, like you're some sort of like.
I gotta go to another graduation tonight.
You do everything. For who? Your third cousin?
No, it's fine. He's a great kid. He's graduating
high school.
My wife's sister's son.
Yeah, but I feel like graduating high school, it's like, oh, cool. That was the easiest part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What you just accomplished is the easiest part of your life. Just remember that.
Okay.
Tell your kids that high school's tough. It's the easiest part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait till you get that wake-up call. So it's like, I'm going to a high school graduation, like, don't invite me, because I ain't going. Like, I love everybody. Like, don't get me wrong, but, like, I'm not going to do that. I'll go watch them play soccer, something like that, but a high school graduation, go fuck yourself.
Okay.
It don't mean shit, and that's the easiest part of your life. Now, you're going to get slapped in the face with the real world. Maybe not the first couple years.
He's going to Iowa.
That'd be cool.
My niece is going to Tulane. I went there last week.
Cool, man.
You should have played college hockey.
Okay. So fucking banging 40-year-olds at 17 in Windsor. Yeah, go play college hockey game. Fuck out of here.
All right, Peter Laviolette, man, all the best. Yeah, somebody's going to get a good coach, a great coach with a lot of experience, man. And it's not too often you see coaches like that who are available.
Yeah, he's there. He's ready. He's ready to rock.
I don't think he's ever taken a season off.
No, he's been a busy man. A busy dude. But sometimes
you're good living, dude.
Sometimes you're down in Florida fishing.
That is good living.
Sometimes you're down in Florida fishing. Your kids are down there.
Could you imagine going to a D3 college? Like you're playing hockey, D3 college, and you end up making millions and millions and millions of dollars coaching in the NHL.
Yeah, okay. You played in the NHL too, though.
He did 12 games, you're right. Which is unheard of for a D3 player, really.
And he coached the East Coast, and he won, and he went to Providence, and he did his thing.
Yeah, he was in Boston Bruins as an assistant.
He did his thing.
Yeah, he paid his dues,
He paid his fucking dues, man. He's like, no, I don't want to be assistant coach here. I want to be a head coach, so I'll go down a notch, and I'll grind it in the East Coast.
Millbury.
You're damn right. He went to the East Coast, and remember he was supposed to be an assistant coach?
That's where his son is playing right now.
And exactly. And so he went down there.
You know the name of the team, the Wheeling Nailers?
Wheeling Nailers, yeah.
What's a nailer?
Probably a construction worker, maybe.
Somebody
I could be wrong.
Somebody who's like construction.
Maybe I could be.
That's what
there might be a different meaning. A nailer could be something indigenous to West Virginia.
Like
and
if you
Wheeling.
call somebody,
like maybe it's a guy that does something in the caves and the mines or something like that, right?
Yeah, let us know if you know. What's
West Virginia's hardcore, man.
I've heard.
A lot of poverty.
I know.
The poorest state in the league, besides Mississippi, I believe, is West
Really?
Virginia. Yes. There's a 300-mile
Yet
terrain.
Ole Miss is a beautiful campus.
Oh, yeah. The college down in Mississippi is great, but it's very poor. Mississippi's the poorest, fattest state going.
Fattest?
Yes.
More
it's
than
one
Wisconsin?
of the worst places to live. Yeah, more than Wisconsin.
I want to give a shout out real quick, too, to Emily Zimmerman. I went to
I know.
her
Okay, yep.
celebration of life.
Chris Zimmerman.
The wife of the Blues president and CEO
Yep. No doubt.
of business operations, Chris Zimmerman.
Yep.
Great guy. And I got to know Emily, man. She was with Chris all the time.
I heard that.
Great vision, great people person, very creative, open, out-of-the-box thinker. So, but a lot of people showed up for her service there, man.
I didn't
Her
go.
kids had some unbelievable speeches, but, to have
never met her
Al
before.
McInnes and Chris Pronger and a number of other alumni, show up, and Bernie Federico, you had a lot of people there, man. It was very, very nice. Very cool. All right, let's get out of here, man.
Yeah, let's go.
Great episode with Peter Laviolette. We appreciate him coming on. We got some other great stuff,
We
too.
got some big stuff.
Check out our website, camandstrick.com, all our Instagram, Twitter, everything else. As always, the Cam Strick podcast is brought to you by Hair Club and hairclub.com. Cam, 800-279-7878. Use our landing page. Go there and sign up for your first consultation straight from there. 800-279-7878. hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. So check that out. Ask about the pill. And maybe they'll play a movie for you during your procedure. They're going to hold your hand, whatever you need.
Ask them about the procedures in itself. It's not just a pill. That's just something you add onto it. But
hundreds and hundreds of solutions, Cam.
Yeah, there's
for
a shit
everybody,
ton, guys. I mean, really, there's a shit ton of solutions.
And no situation is the same. Everybody's unique, and they sit down, give you the consultation, tell you what's the best route for you to take personally.
It's easy. It's an easy thing to do.
What's the best avenue for you?
Yeah.
What's best for you?
Yeah, you just said that.
Firstform.com, baby. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. That is our link. So go there. You're going to order any products, man. We appreciate it if you do it from our link, firstform.com/Cam and Strick. The apparel is great. They've got great summer clothes.
Oh, God. I saw it. Look at me.
And I know. Look at me, too.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Everything I wear is for I wish I had shoes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
seriously, if they have shoes out,
you would wear the shoes.
Socks, I would wear nothing but First Form.
You would wear that. Yeah.
That's all I wear.
Well,
it's comfortable as shit.
I know it is.
They could not even have protein or any of the health stuff.
Dude,
and just do apparel.
I got my kids the brownie batter, peanut butter type stuff, but it's brownie batter.
Yeah, dang good.
I just got Brody's attention. He's like, "What? You guys? They got brownie batter? I'm gonna bring him some of that."
Brody's like the healthiest guy in the world.
So he's sneezing today.
I don't know. There's something he's always sneezing.
Allergies, man.
Always drinking crushing water. Doesn't drink. Doesn't smoke. Doesn't do. He's gonna live to 100.
Well, we'd never hire him if he did.
You're gonna live to 140.
They wouldn't pass the application process.
I know. I'm the only alcoholic in this group. Okay, I can't. You can only have one of me. Jeez.
Check out Hair Club. Check out First Form. All the great products with First Form and firstform.com/Cam and Strick. First Form's the best. Listen, did you see what Nick was doing, First Form Nick, this past weekend? He was in New York City, dude.
I saw that.
And he's back here on the baseball field, hitting dingers.
Yeah. Was he hitting dingers? I bet you he attracts Nick from First Form could play in a softball league in a shitty little fucking area, and he'll probably attract good-looking women to watch.
Why are you guys here?
I'm watching Nick. Watching Nick.
What brings you ladies here today?
Well, Nick.
Hey, ladies.
Nick attracts. Nick could bring girls in to watch a softball
And they're
game.
wearing First Form gear.
Yeah. I love it, man. They got a good thing going, dude. They got a good thing going.
First Form baseball jerseys they have. It's a First Form baseball team.
Oh, I bet you they kick ass.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That softball.
Could you imagine
they have a softball team?
trying to brush them back
off
the plate?
They're probably smacking shit around, dude. Jacked as fuck.
Oh, my God.
But classy.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all nice.
So nice. Like the dugout is in.
They probably help
The
people
dugout is so clean after they're done with it.
They probably actually didn't try as hard because they felt bad. That
guys,
they're killing
we're only
everybody.
going to try half as hard. Yeah. Remember when Brad May told us that in Nashville? He's like, guys, a lot of these guys aren't very good. Like,
and we got our ass kicked. Oh, my God.
I think
Mayday.
he had money on the game or something.
No, it was a guy that paid a lot of money. And he brings his team every time.
He did not want us to win.
And Mayday's like, Janner, we got to tell the boys.
No, yeah, he told the whole team.
He's like, Yeah, and then we got our
His
ass.
pump-up speech was, don't go out and score. He was like, don't try, don't score, and then we lose to these
We
guys.
got our asses kicked.
Because nobody went out there trying. Everybody thinking it was going to be like terrible.
But when he said that at first, I go, what? And I'm like, wait, no, Mayday, you're right. No, let's chill on these guys.
I know.
But the other team, fuck them. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes some teams want to talk a little shit.
I'm working on next year already.
Andy, I'm just saying. It might be out of my hands to invite you, just so you know. And I'm a powerful dude when it comes to that.
Mikey liked me. Mikey.
Oh, yeah, he loves you. Yeah. No, you'll get the invite. You might go
in place of you.
In place of me, yeah.
The way you played? Oh, my God.
Andy, I can go out there in a clown outfit with no skates on. It just does not matter. This does not matter.
Go to firstform.com/Cam Strick today. Bellman and Bellman.com. Bellman is located where?
Troy, Missouri. Because I don't want to just say try. Because it's in Troy, Missouri.
I know. And at
Troy.
And at Bellman, you find no.
Swing dicks,
okay, just making sure
Good
people know.
God.
But you will find some sushi. They will give you sushi and
This
electrolytes.
it's not funny.
Electrolytes to like when you're dehydrated. And you're gonna spend all that time out there on the pavement looking for vehicles.
There's a lot to choose
Cam,
from.
they got everything. Buick GMC on one side of the street. By the way, if your credit sucks, if it's terrible,
Don't matter.
it doesn't even matter. You're going to get approved. Bellman GMC on one side of the street, Cam. And I'm looking at a number of different GMCs right now.
There's some good ones.
On the other side, the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. They literally have something for everybody.
Yep. Gosh dang right.
Everybody. So check it out and check it out today. Bellman and Bellman.com. All right, let's get out of here. This has been episode number 239, right? Yeah, 239.
Love all you guys and girls.
Yeah.
Love all you guys.
All my
man.
people in Saskatchewan, everywhere man.
around the world.
PEI,
We love you.
Alberta.
I really do love you guys, honestly, and I will reach back to you when you fucking. And we've been doing like my actually cameo's been blowing up.
Me too.
With shit. So if you guys want to keep doing that, like I'll do it. You message me for anything like this. Mm-hmm. What's up, man? I'm here for you.
What's up?
I love all you.
I'm here for you guys.
Love all you guys.
I'm here for
and
all
girls,
of you.
By the way,
all of you. All of you. Just reach out to me. All right, let's get going.
God.
Hey, man, it's been great. It's been great. Peter Laviolette was great as well. So check out, follow us along, man, everywhere. CamAndStrick.com.
All of our social media, everything.
Yes.
Leave comments. All that stuff helps us, like grow, guys. You know.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna change a couple things to keep it
baby.
going because
Yes,
we will. We bring the heat every time. We always
always evolving.
We just got to evolve a little bit more, and but liking and helping, that just helps us out a lot. Keeps this thing going. We love you guys.
There you
Seriously.
go. There you go. Peace.
Peace out.